himself and a woman who was inside the home. Members of the local law enforcement agency involved are on administrative leave, which is standard policy after an officer-involved shooting. Alaska State Police are handling the investigation. The Coast Guard rescued 3 hunters at Windy Lake near Kodiak after their tents got blown away by high winds and they couldn't stay warm enough to last through the night. A helicopter Sunday managed to land near the campsite and bring the men on board. Finally, Fairbanks has set a new record high temperature for September. Fairbanks hit 76 degrees Sunday, breaking a record of 73 degrees set back in 1938. KVNT, the talk of the valley.
Sunshine and clouds with a brief shower for today, high 58. Partly cloudy with a passing shower for tonight, low 47. Tomorrow, clouds and sunshine with spotty showers, high 56. Wednesday night, low 46. Thursday, clouds and sunshine, high 55. Friday, high 58. If the valley's talking, you'll hear it here. KVNT Valley News Talk 92.5 FM and 1020 AM.
What in the name of Blackbeard's ghost is going on here?
Yar, it's the 2014 Pirate Pub Crawl in downtown Anchorage, Captain, on Saturday, September 20th.
Shiver me timbers, we'll need to batten down the hatches and set our course to help raise money for the Blood Bank of Alaska's treasure chest, else we'll be sent to Davy Jones' locker.
Aye, navigate your way to Town Square at 7 p.m. for a group photo with your crew. Make way anytime after 7 p.m. to the participating pubs in downtown Anchorage with your treasure map to win 80,000 air miles and more.
Jibe ho to AnchorageDowntown.org for more details and discounts on hotel stay, costumes, and parking at Easy Park lots for the night.
Yo ho, me hearties.
We best be seeing your scallywags at the Pirate Pub Crawl on September 20th.
Brought to you by the Anchorage Downtown Pirate Ship, K&H Graphics, the Blood Bank of Alaska, the Odom Corporation, Dooley's Tuxedos and Rentals, and Alaska Integrated Media.
Mark Begich has voted with Barack Obama 97% of the time. Now, to distract you from the truth, Begich is falsely attacking Dan Sullivan with ads fact-checkers have called inflammatory and inaccurate. Shamefully, Begich has even resorted to attacking Dan Sullivan's service to our country. Mark Begich isn't true Alaska. He's pure Washington.
I'm Julie Fate Sullivan. After 9/11, my family left our home in Alaska so my husband, Dan Sullivan, could defend our country, first in the White House under Condoleezza Rice, then deploying overseas as a U.S. Marine. Now Mark Begich is attacking Dan for that service. As somebody whose family has been in Alaska for thousands of years, I have a message for Mark Begich. Alaskans respect military service. We don't attack it.
I'm Dan Sullivan. I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sullivan for U.S. Senate.
This is Olympic cross-country skier Holly Brooks. Are you an adult who wants to help today's girls become tomorrow's leaders? Girl Scouts of Alaska is looking for volunteers. Lead a Girl Scout troop, coach a Lego robotics team, or present at a workshop. Parents, grandparents, college students, and retirees can all be Girl Scout volunteers. All you need is a willingness to help make tomorrow's leaders from today's girls. Girls like me, because I was a Girl Scout. Visit www.girlscoutsalaska.org or call 248-2250.
When you've got the best ingredients, the pizza comes out right. That's just what we're cooking for every appetite. Experience the flavor, call us right away. 24/7, it's a pizza party day.
For the past 20 years, Sicily's Pizza has served Alaskans hot, fresh, quality pizza at a great price. And as a special thanks to all of their loyal customers, Sicily's is having a 20th anniversary sale. Any pizza, any size, for just 20 cents. Now that's an offer that you really can sink your teeth into. Call 333-8000 and order the Sicily's 20th anniversary special. Buy any pizza, any size, and get a second pizza for only 20 cents. Order online at sicilyspizza.com. Offer valid for pickup and carry out only. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza, 333-8000.
In a world where right versus left,
serious trouble. Alaska's Energy America's Values paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. It's time to replace Malarkey Mark with U.S. Senator Dan Sullivan. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. EnergyandValues.com.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
.35 in the morning on a Tuesday morning, rolling right along, September 16th, 2014. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. Welcome to all of you for joining us on this Tuesday morning. So this Palin brawl gate and what do you call it? Ambush gate?
Rumble gate.
Ambush gate.
Are you ready to rumble? There's a new wrinkle. New development, and of course, who has broken the story? None other than Amanda KOAN. The guy who went forward and spoke out, Eric Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he's been fired as a result of that.
Well, she reported that in her first story.
Not
in her first story, in her second story.
Well, it
was like the day after he talked.
When was the brawl?
Saturday night?
Well, there was rumors. There was rumors that he was fired, but she has confirmed
last Saturday night.
That Eric Thompson was fired from his job with the McKenna Brothers Paving. McKenna Brothers Paving is the name of the company, for speaking to the media. McKenna Brothers Paving is owned by twins Mark and Matt McKenna. Mark is a fellow Iron Dog racer and is friends with Todd Palin. The birthday party was for them and was held at the house of the company's office manager. Now, remember, it was the office manager who asked the Palins to leave. So I wonder if the McKennas were actually in on the Palin side of the fight. Because if they're upset with one of their employees.
That's what it said. It said that one of them's friends with Todd.
Yeah. Todd, this guy who was fired, Mr. McKenna, or I'm sorry, Thompson, he's 56. He says he's project supervisor, and he says he's devastated. For one, he really liked working with the McKenna brothers, whom he described as really good guys. Secondly, he needs a paycheck. It's hard to find work in the construction season this time of year when companies are beginning to shed employees for the winter. He's got a lawyer, Kevin Fitzgerald.
Pretty tough situation. So I guess they fired him because he went on ABC, not because he talked to Amanda. And then he went on ABC, and they didn't like the way that he described the outing. I don't think there's any nice way to describe it. So I guess
no.
I don't know. I guess he was.
Should he have been fired?
Nice. I think that McKenna Brothers got some answering to do. That'd be my take.
Don't think that's his call.
You don't think that's whose call?
I mean, if he got fired, he got fired. Mr.
Eric
Thompson.
Yeah. But do you think the McKenna brothers should have fired him?
I don't think that's my call. That's up to them.
But what's your opinion?
My opinion is that he probably, I don't know. I think maybe it was embellished, but that's just my opinion.
That he was half fired?
No, I think he embellished the story, and they know it. And
okay.
They fired him because he didn't tell all the truth. But that's speculation.
What do you think, Brian?
You know, it is a right to work state. So if
you could fire at will, but it's not
that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I meant the opposite. So say if I went on Good Morning America and told all the behind the scenes things and made things up, would you be mad? Maybe fire me? You know, you could.
Well, here's my thought. I would support the McKenna brothers' right to fire anybody they want. It's their company. They can do whatever they want. Unlike Dan Sullivan, I don't think the government should be telling entrepreneurs what to do. You tell them better?
Amen.
But I think it's stupid to fire him because that just makes everything look worse. It makes the McKenna brothers look worse. It makes the Palins look like they demanded a firing. You never know. The public relations-wise, it was an unwise decision by the McKenna brothers. I support the right to do it, but publicly, I think it was probably a mistake on their hat.
I got a way, by the way, for Palin to get almost all the way out of this. Ask for Thompson to be rehired. If she did that, can you imagine
Will that
how
happen,
powerful
Dan?
that would be?
So there is another development, by the way.
He said something that I didn't like, and obviously I'm very embarrassed about the way my family handled this, but look, I do not want anybody fired. He's a decent man. Rehire him, please. If she came out and said that, man, wouldn't that be an amazing turnabout?
There's another development, and I want to tell you about it, but I want to take Todd's call because he's been on hold a while. 569-1080, 569-1080. Todd, you're on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I missed the exact quote from Dan Sullivan this morning. I got into the car a little late. Is it a long one, or I was wondering if you could read it again?
Bonnie has it.
Well, basically, it sounds like he talked to some people in Alaska, and therefore the minimum wage increase. And so now he is too.
Yeah, that's really disappointing, and I'm wondering if I'm actually going to contribute to his campaign now. I'm still going to vote for him because I'd vote for a dog before I'd vote for Mark Begich. But
yeah.
So what do you think that sends? What kind of message do you think that sends to Dan Sullivan when we will vote for him and we'll support him no matter what he does, just because he's not Mark Begich?
I'm not sure it's no matter what he does. It's as long as he isn't worse than Mark Begich.
Todd, I think you found the perfect.
I mean, that's the message I'm sending. I mean, I supported him in 3 different elections, and I've contributed to his campaigns. Joe Miller, that is, and
I think you found the perfect balance. Vote for him, but don't give him money. I think that's the perfect balance.
Yeah,
there has to be. This is my thought driving in. Like Bonnie has in the past, I'm angry at him and I want to punish him. I'm bitter. I'm furious with the guy.
Yeah,
and then I remember my country. And then I remember my country's at stake. And then my emotions are not as important as the salvation of my country. And we will not survive another Democratic-controlled Congress or Senate under this president. So
yeah, I'm probably gonna communicate that to him.
Yeah.
Along with the reason why I'm not, but there's a way he could have done this much better, which is just saying, I support the free market. I don't support forcing businesses to pay people more money, just like I don't support forcing businesses to charge less to customers. It's between an employer and an employee how much they are willing to pay and how much they're willing to work for.
That's right.
There's a much deeper problem here, though. This is just a branch on the root of people not understanding how wealth is created in our country. They think that there is this finite pie, and then if someone gets more, that they get less. And this is just the result of poor economic education.
Yes.
And it's a result of leaders not educating people about economics.
Yes. That's very true.
And he missed a chance here to educate people about the free market, and that's really disappointing.
Todd, excellent. And that's how we lose the argument, was when our leaders don't make the argument.
No, when they succumb to the populist ideals rather than actually use logic and reason and leadership to explain how the world really works. And it's not emotion. It's based on choices and consequences of choices. But
for personal political gain. For personal political gain.
We'll endure through November and then pray that he actually is somewhat of a solid conservative. I mean, my hope is in Jesus Christ. It's not in Dan Sullivan to save the world. So he's just one man.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate your call. Dan Fagan, Glen, Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, KOAN, KVNT.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
When Alaska hunters get their moose or caribou, deer or sheep, they face a number of choices. The smart ones bring their meat to Herb Ekman at Alaska Sausage.
We have been processing game for Alaskans since 1963. I am very proud of the products we make.
Alaska Sausage makes wonderful breakfast sausage, Polish sausage, summer sausage, and the old favorites, moose-a-roni and wieners, plus their famous hunter sticks, pepper sticks, or teriyaki sticks.
And each month we have some great specials like our classic pastrami. Our specials are always very popular. And a superior product starts with superior meat. That's why Alaska Sausage only accepts good, clean game meat that has been well cared for before it gets to us.
You know, there's a lot of hard work involved in bringing back your moose or caribou or sheep, a lot of hard work. So it only makes sense to take it where you'll get the best sausage and meat. Alaska Sausage, near the corner of Arctic and Benson. And our Valley customers can drop their clean boneless meat at Smoked Alaska Seafoods, where Alaska Sausage will pick it up and complete your order.
Just tell them Herb sent you.
Trail Boss Solutions is your local award-winning, nationally recognized construction and remodel firm. From handyman services to kitchen design and remodel to custom home construction, Trail Boss Solutions has the experienced professionals to take your project from initial design through completion, on time and on budget. Trail Boss Solutions is the only call for all your construction, design, and remodel needs. Please visit us on the web at trailboss-solutions.com or contact Trail Boss Solutions direct at 646-1403.
I commute from Schenectady to Manhattan. It's about a 6-hour round trip, but it's cool. My family loves Schenectady, and I love books on tape. It's a lot of time to spend driving alone. On the other hand, Schenectady is really close to the highway, so...
Life is a long drive. Make sure your car is along for the ride. Mobile Super Motor Oil is formulated to help prevent sludge and protect against wear. Mobile Super for long engine life.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. LKVNT, 92.5 FM, 1020 AM.
Dan Fagan, Glen, Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, here on your morning commute, September 16, 2014. The time currently 6:47. Our number 569-1080. 569-1080. There's a few pictures circulating on the internet this morning with Sarah Palin coming out of what is, I guess, hot yoga, having no makeup, and of course the media they're always out to try to drum something up against her. She wasn't wearing her wedding ring. You know, marriage problems.
I never see her with her wedding ring on.
Yeah.
To me, that doesn't mean anything anymore. Sometimes I forget my wedding ring for a couple weeks at a time or more. I mean, I remember I'm married.
Yeah. Well, the media, they're just always trying to anything that can advance a story, in light of the brawl. But that's just kind of how they roll. Is this anything? Is this something that I don't think she's ever been photographed in public like this, right?
I think she still looks good. I wish I looked that good without makeup. I don't see it. All that'll do is get people to click on it and go to their page. That's not a big deal.
Glenn, does she have to come out and address this brawl situation?
I don't. Yes, I mean, I think I certainly think she does. I think Fox News is going to feel the opposing forces close in about them, and I mean, there's a whisper.
Fox?
Yeah, Fox has to retain its credibility as a quote news organization, and in order to do that, they have to address situations that people get into in the middle of, I mean, people who are on their station regularly, and this is certainly one of them. I don't know how you can sweep this under the rug, so of course it has to be dealt with in some way.
569-1080, 569-1080. Real quick, you said she put these photos do not look good, and you said, Bonnie, well, she put it on her own Facebook. That's a far cry from the photos that we saw.
Oh.
They're not nearly as...
They're not as bad?
Yeah.
The photos on her Facebook page actually do look, well, they do look fine.
Yeah, they've been doctored or darkened and something.
Oh,
those
is that
are the
what
ones
it is?
I saw.
Yeah.
So.
You can put makeup on after you take your own picture, apparently.
Let's go to Alex. Alex, you're on.
Why, howdy.
Gordon.
How are you folks?
Good.
One observation on the Sullivan minimum wage story. Voter suppression on the right is an integral part of every Democrat campaign. That's why this story was front page on the Daily News to trigger precisely the response you and I and Glenn did. It's part of the reelect Mark Begich campaign.
Yes.
Is it an unforced error? It's an unforced error.
Yeah.
Is it a wrong position? It's a wrong position. But it's the only one we've seen.
Yeah.
And the reason they're playing it up is to make us sit home.
Oh, sure. No, I agree with that, Alex. You agree, Glenn?
Yeah. Well, they want to create wedges. Look, it's a big deal. He changed his position on something he came out and said during a debate. That's a big deal. I mean, this is not a nothing burger. But I think the left also gets a great deal of pleasure in the fact that conservatives have lost a large segment of the public on such a public policy issue as the minimum wage. And I think conservatives, I think they take great pleasure in the fact that conservatives are having a difficult time making the argument that we need to let the free market rule how much you get paid when you're at the beginning of your industry. So I don't know, but I think for many reasons this is front page news. This is front page news. That's what it is.
Hold him accountable. That's what we do as Republicans. You know, I know they're counting on us doing that, but that's what we do. We hold our people, responsible for their decisions.
Well, what about the people? What about the people want this? This is what the people want.
I don't think if you're a true conservative, you can say you want this.
Well, that's not the question. The general populace.
I don't know. I don't trust polls, so I really don't know.
Okay, what if the polls are correct, and many polls have come out on this, and all the polls kind of say the same thing?
Well, that doesn't mean I'm going to change my decision on it.
No, I agree with that, but at some point, just like marijuana, if the majority of people want marijuana to be legal, it's going to be legal because that's where we are.
I'll tell you, I don't want my senator to change his beliefs on it just because it's popular opinion.
Yeah, but what do you do about, you have a republic, people are allowed to pass laws and change even the fundamentals of what they think the free market is. They're allowed to raise prices on themselves and make them less free, which is what they want. And so they're going to do that. And that's where we are here. Wait a minute. And what if this was a 90-10 issue and 90% of people wanted to have a higher minimum wage?
Then they can start a business and they can pay their people that much.
That's not his question. What do you do politically?
What should Dan Sullivan do politically if 90% of people are for that? I would want him to stand to his beliefs. And I would want him to say, I'm going to stand on my beliefs, and if you don't want to elect me because of it, then don't.
And now, see, what I would like him to do is explain it as I did. This makes business harder for people. People are allowed to vote this way. I think it will be disappointing to a lot of, but that's not what he said. He came out and said, I give up. Okay, you got 2-1. You got 2-1 people who think this is going to be good for poor people, and I give up. I'm tired of fighting this. We got other issues, maybe something like that. I don't know. I mean,
that's not what he said.
But I'm reading into.
No, what he said was, I can't win this race unless I change my position.
Wow.
Okay, so that's.
Did he say I can't win this race unless I change?
I have a better chance of winning this race.
He didn't say that either.
Internally, I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're saying what I gave an interpretation. I want to go out and find other issues. You gave an interpretation.
Yeah.
I can't win this
race.
Okay, so am I.
Yeah.
Well, and so I just, say all that, and then Joe Miller went out and said he talked to the independent producers, and they all said that, and so he changed his position.
Not even the great Joe Miller is immune.
No.
From changing his position.
And I do wish he would.
Although I think Joe Miller's a true believer in ACES because I believe he's an anti-populist.
Well, then he should have said it.
And he's going to vote for Bill Walker for governor. That's my thought on Joe Miller. So I don't think he switched his position.
That's also speculation.
It is speculation, but it's also based on a number of interviews with him. It's not total.
Well, anyway, he's not running for anything right now.
Who? Alex?
I'm still here.
Oh.
Hey, Alex.
You guys were on a roll.
Anyway, so it's very disappointing. We wish that we could win this. I mean, what do conservatives do? This is the part that I am struggling with. Is some of the basic tenets of conservative thought no longer are even close to 50-50.
What conservatives do is tie it to the youngsters. We have a failed public school system. They do not teach job skills. They do not teach the ability to go out into the workforce anymore. The only way you can get that is by getting into the workforce. By passing minimum wage, it makes it more difficult to get that first job. And frankly, for the oldsters, it makes it more difficult to get that last job. Walmart greeter, anybody?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I couldn't think of a more nasty, ugly, or damaging thing to do to the uneducated kids in the bush or the uneducated kids here in Anchorage than to make it more difficult for a business to hire them. It's an evil, ugly thing to do.
Yeah.
You make that case and you win the argument.
Well,
you don't think people are making that case? I hate to say this, and I'm looking at two conservatives, and I'm talking to a conservative.
Anybody other than me say it's an evil, ugly, nasty thing to do?
Let me set everybody straight. Can I set everybody straight? 60% of the populace of the United States has zero exposure to conservative thought. We can sit here and argue about the argument all day. 60% aren't hearing it. You got the mainstream media, you got the public education system, you got Hollywood. The average citizen does not. I've gone through periods of my life, 4 or 5 years in a row, where I didn't expose myself to conservative thought. I didn't go to conservative websites. I didn't watch Fox News. I didn't listen to talk radio. And all of a sudden, I can see my opinions drift. It's not the argument. The argument is truth. We win that. We got to get to them. We have not exposure to these people.
So
that's the problem.
What's your approach?
I don't know.
The education system?
We got to take back control of the education system. We got to gut the teachers union.
Number one issue, and I don't care about the teachers union. We'll always have a teachers union. I don't have a problem with that, but they should not control things. You cannot have a monopoly for a public employees union. That is suicidal because they do not.
Alex, how do we get to the 60% that we're not? That don't even, because I'm a huge believer in truth. You hear truth, most people will convert to truth. How do we get to them?
Retail politics.
Could you elaborate?
Old-fashioned, door-to-door. We've got to start doing the Facebook, Twitter stuff that the left has been doing so wonderfully.
Don't be afraid to offend.
Don't worry about offending. Keep the tongue firmly in the cheek when you do it, and it goes down a lot easier.
Well, here's my suggestion as to how to win this debate. If you had a coalition of young people, old people, as you pointed out very brilliantly, Alex, and small business people come together and say, we would like to give an educational opportunity to the people of Alaska to try and convince you that this makes our lives harder, our young people's lives harder, our older people's lives harder, and our small business lives harder, and that if you vote for this minimum wage, you will actually be hurting our ability to create jobs for you.
6:58 is the time.
You gotta play to win. Don't miss your chance. Alaska Lottery presents Monthly Lotto with a new drawing every month. Tickets are just $2 each or 10 for $10. The winner receives half of everything collected. Drawings will be held on the 30th of every month. Call the Alaska Lottery hotline at 56-LOTTO. That's 565-6886 for information and prize updates. Charitable gaming in Alaska raises millions of dollars every year for nonprofit organizations statewide. Get your tickets today at the new Tudor Bingo Center at 1436 East Tudor Road, Tudor Charity Tabs at 343 West Benson, or the Alaska Lottery kiosk on the first floor of the 5th Avenue Mall. You don't have to be present to win, but you gotta play to win. Brought to you by Greater Anchorage Inc., Ferrande, and Alaska Lottery.
Hot Talk KOAN. Listen online at 1080KOAN.com. Hot Talk 95.1 FM, 1080 AM. KOAN, Anchorage.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. Going after militants rampaging across Iraq and Syria will not be shock and awe.
Because that's simply not how ISIL is organized, but it will be a persistent and sustainable campaign.
And Joint Chiefs Chairman General Martin Dempsey says if it fails to defeat the ISIS or ISIL militants, then he'll consider a new strategy that
may include the use of U.S. military ground forces.
Now, throughout this Armed Services Committee hearing, interruptions.
It's the U.S.
Thank you for leaving.
Protesters speaking out.
General Dempsey.
Angering the chairman, Democrat Carl Levin.
I'm asking you nicely to please leave the room. We're asking you again.
Now, the House is today debating authorizing a plan to train and arm Syrian rebels battling both ISIS and the regime. Some Republicans oppose that. The U.S. military is about to battle another deadly foe, Ebola, in Africa. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern live outside the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta.
Describing the deadly outbreak as a national security priority, President Obama here at the Centers for Disease Control later today will assign as many as 3,000 military personnel to West Africa to provide command and control and coordinate international relief efforts. The president also pressing Congress for hundreds of millions of dollars to set up healthcare facilities in the region and airlift much-needed medical supplies to Liberia. Dave.
Jared, 2 Americans attacked and killed in Afghanistan. Fox News Radio's Emily Wither live in our Middle East Bureau.
The attacker detonated his car bomb only a couple hundred yards from the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. 2 U.S. troops and a Polish service member were killed. 5 troops and up to 20 civilians were also injured in the attack. Coalition forces gave CPR to wounded colleagues shortly after the blast, which sent a huge plume of smoke into the sky. The Taliban claimed responsibility. Dave?
Italy inflation was tame last month. Wholesale prices remain unchanged overall. On Wall Street, the Dow's just up a couple points. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Gear up for fall and haul in the savings. Choose 0% 60-month financing or big cash off select John Deere tractors. From the 1 family to 150 horsepower utility tractors. Plus, get $1,500 off new 1 family tractors when you buy 2 implements. Offer ends October 31st, 2014, subject to approved credit on John Deere financial installment plan. Some restrictions apply. See your participating dealer for details.
Visit your local John Deere dealer today to take advantage of special savings going on now. Find out more at myjohndeeredealer.com.
Attention homeowners, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. We've told you about HARP in the past. There are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. It's simple and easy. And for 4 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. To learn more, call 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed law 50 states and MLS number 30.
When you've got the best ingredients, the pizza comes out right. That's just what we're cooking for every appetite. Experience the flavor, call us right away. 24/7, it's a pizza party day.
For the past 20 years, Sicily's Pizza has served Alaskans hot, fresh, quality pizza at a great price. And as a special thanks to all of their loyal customers, Sicily's is having a 20th anniversary sale. Any pizza, any size, for just 20 cents. Now that's an offer that you really can sink your teeth into. Call 333-8000 and order the Sicily's 20th anniversary special. Buy any pizza, any size, and get a second pizza for only 20 cents. Order online at sicilyspizza.com. Offer valid for pickup and carry out only. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza, 333-8000.
Pete's Parrot Emporium.
Pete.
How may I help you?
Help.
Be quiet.
Quiet.
Silence.
If only everything in business was as easy as Wix. Wix's drag-and-drop website builder makes it simple to create your stunning website yourself. Just choose a design from hundreds of beautiful Wix templates and customize it however you want. Go to Wix.com today. It's easy and free.
Wix.com.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player.
An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian.
A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can go your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve. which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Why is A&A The Shop Alaska's independent Subaru specialist? How is it they've been voted the best shop in Anchorage not once but 6 times? Well, it's pretty simple. They offer the best warranty in the business. If they work on your Subaru, you're going to get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on both parts and labor. That's unheard of. A&A The Shop deals exclusively with Subarus, and they also offer $35 oil changes. All their technicians are ASE certified. Call A&A The Shop for an appointment. 562-3919 in Anchorage and 696-2096 in Eagle River. Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of the...
All right, 6 minutes past 7 o'clock. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the broadcast. We're glad you're here. Hope things are going well for you. Hope you're having a good week. You having a good week, Bonnie?
So far.
Glen, you having a good week?
I'm seriously enjoying it, especially today's show. A lot of anger being expressed here, which I appreciate.
But we want joy and happiness.
The minimum wage.
That's what I'm here for, right?
It is a bad day for me because I don't know that there's anything politically other than abortion that angers me more than the minimum wage.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
see, it would be way down on my list. I'm thinking the border,
it's the principle.
Sovereignty,
it's the
UN.
It's the principle.
Okay.
The government telling me as an entrepreneur what to pay my people.
So the people telling the government what to tell business owners, because you can keep saying the government, it's the people that's going to vote on this, and the people are for it 2-1.
I don't care about the polls. All I know is my government is telling me how to run my business.
All right.
I am fundamentally outraged at that principle. The fact that the government, it's unconstitutional. The government has no right.
It can't be unconstitutional. It's done all over the country.
You think our founding fathers would have considered this constitutional?
I think that it is state law, it's studied law, and it can't be unconstitutional because it hasn't been found unconstitutional. So give up that argument.
Wait a minute now. Are you telling me that everything that hasn't been found unconstitutional is constitutional?
I don't know. What are you arguing? It's constitutional, not constitutional. Is that a convincing argument to who?
Do you think the Constitution protects or guarantees the right to end the life of your child?
No.
So it hasn't been found unconstitutional. So in your mind, it's in the same argument you just made.
No, I don't think that's convincing to anybody about the minimum wage being unconstitutional.
Glenn, remember, when I talk, I'm not trying to convince. I'm just saying what's true and what's not.
Okay.
And I believe it's true that it's unconstitutional that the government can force me to pay what I don't want to pay.
Okay.
Do you believe in principle that's true?
No. I think that our Constitution grants broad authority. In fact, it grants total authority to every state. Total authority. You are not guaranteed limited government in the United States of America. You know what you're guaranteed? Limited federal government. You know what the states could do? They could pass a universal abortion law. They could pass a universal health care law, which they did in Massachusetts. They could pass a $30 minimum wage. States could do anything they want to, Dan.
Okay.
And that's not unconstitutional.
I agree with that.
All right.
But the federal minimum wage.
I don't care about the federal minimum wage. It's a state minimum wage.
But Glenn, when we're arguing, you can't just drop out of the argument by saying I don't
You
care.
just dropped out of the argument. Oh, so you agree with me now that
I'm acknowledging.
a state, okay.
It's something that maybe new, but I acknowledge, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
On a state level, it's constitutional.
Right.
I was wrong.
So the federal minimum wage, you want to switch the argument over to that? Yeah, I agree. The federal minimum wage is unconstitutional.
Okay, well, that was my main point. I didn't specify federal. But it anchors me that the government is going to tell me as a business owner what to do with my business. It's anti-free market. It's anti-freedom. Bonnie?
What?
I'm sorry, do we bother you?
No.
She's writing things.
No,
she's
it's really true.
clarifying
When you said, oh, so it's okay unless it's unconstitutional. You know, things used to be free we used to say, okay, we're free to do this unless the government tells us not to.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's becoming, am I allowed to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Is it against the law? I'm so afraid. We look over our shoulders and watch what we're writing on email because we're worried if it might be against the law.
And somebody's snooping.
What world am I living in? What kind of free country is this?
The 32nd most free business economy in the world. Not the first, not the 5th, not the 10th,
It gets
the 20th.
worse every year.
The 32nd
Yeah.
most free with one of the highest tax burdens on corporations in the world. And gee, I wonder why all these corporations are wandering out of the country. Anyway, back to the minimum wage.
And so
the people of the state of Alaska can vote whatever minimum wage they want. Now, you don't like it, and here's what I don't like about it. I don't like the fact that our public sector unions that run our schools have an unlimited ability, a monopolistic, unlimited ability to tell kids things that aren't true, that they will be better off because if they can get a job, they'll get a minimum wage now. That is just fundamentally not true. It's bad economics. It is a bad view of the world, and it's a hateful view of corporations and the people, frankly. So I get all that, but I'm not going to complain about the fact that all these people got educated in the public education system. Now you're complaining about the government. This is people. People are going to vote for this 58-33. We're losing this 2-1. What do you do about it? I say you fight the education establishment, and not teachers, because I know teachers are very decent people. The teachers' union that elects people and then controls a monopolistic education system. That's what I think you fight. I'm not going to look. I argue with the people. I try and convince them that this is bad policy. They don't believe me. What do I do now?
It's not true, Glenn.
Where do you go?
Most people do believe you. I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. You act like you have that everyone hears you, and that everyone's heard your arguments, and 60% of the people have rejected them. 60% of the people have not heard your argument. Why do you keep talking as though everyone has heard your argument? That's a very hopeful idea, and I hope that's true. I hope that we can reach a lot more people than we've reached. Once you sit down with someone and you present truth, most people, unless they're hardcore leftists and they've been brainwashed, most people will accept and embrace truth because truth is that powerful. It's not the message. We got to get to these people. And again, this is where I fall short because I don't know how to do that. I mean, we're doing it. We're trying our best now. We're on the air. We're on radio. We're on Facebook. We're making videos. We're doing our very best to get the message out. But that's the key. If I didn't think that the truth about minimum wage would change drastically the opinions of people, why were we even sitting here? I don't think people, yes, it's true that we've got an uphill battle because most people, when they enter public education, the brainwashing and the indoctrination begins, and it continues through all their life. The higher they get up, they get a doctor's degree, a master's degree, they're going to be even that much more brainwashed, and it's an uphill battle. But truth is so powerful. It can penetrate the darkest heart, the blindest eyes, the deafest ears. Truth can do anything. So we have truth on our side in most cases, not always. Sometimes we're wrong. And all we got to do is keep speaking the truth. And eventually we will win this thing. I mean, you're coming from this, well, we've already lost the minimum wage argument. Well, that's it. It's over.
Not that I stopped making the argument. I made the argument. I made it as well as it could be made. I made it powerfully and forcefully. I gave the view of it.
You need to start talking and stop shaking your head.
I have some thoughts.
All right.
I have some thoughts, but 60 seconds is not going to do it.
Bonnie Cameron's thoughts coming next. 714. 569-1080 is the number, 569-1080. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron broadcasting on KOAN, KVNT. Again, the time 7:14 on a Tuesday morning.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give them a call. 569-1080. KOAN.
This is Dr. Ellenberg. Are you tired of taking medications? Do your medications create more side effects than solutions? Do you want more than 15 minutes with your doctor? If you answer yes to those questions, you should consider calling the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine. At our center, we take the time to listen and focus on finding the cause of your health problems. Whether you have a cold, high blood pressure, diabetes, or cancer, we can help. Call the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine at 563-2366 or visit us online at drellenberg.com. We can help.
Mark Begich has voted with Barack Obama 97% of the time. Now, to distract you from the truth, Begich is falsely attacking Dan Sullivan with ads fact-checkers have called inflammatory and inaccurate. Shamefully, Begich has even resorted to attacking Dan Sullivan's service to our country. Mark Begich isn't true Alaska. He's pure Washington.
I'm Julie Fate Sullivan. After 9/11, my family left our home in Alaska so my husband, Dan Sullivan, could defend our country, first in the White House under Condoleezza Rice, then deploying overseas as a U.S. Marine. Now Mark Begich is attacking Dan for that service. As somebody whose family has been in Alaska for thousands of years, I have a message for Mark Begich. Alaskans respect military service. We don't attack it.
I'm Dan Sullivan. I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sullivan for U.S. Senate.
Hey, if you think all you need to know about beer is how to pop the top off the can, go to worldclassbeer.com. There's a whole world of beer out there, and worldclassbeer.com can help you navigate it. Learn the difference between an ale and a lager at Beer U. Get descriptions of all the craft beers and learn why they're so different. And when you see one you'd like to try, the Beer Spy Locator can direct you to the closest store. Worldclassbeer.com, designed to help you get closer to your beer. Brought to you by the Odom Corporation. Always drink responsibly.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Tech, the talk of the valley, KVNT.
Need a new roof? Earhart Roofing. Frank and Becky Earhart, they're the best in the state when it comes to roofing. They started from scratch 42 years ago. Now they've got 17 trucks, 60 employees. It's the classic, perfect family business. Whether it's industrial, commercial, residential, they will always go above and beyond and make sure you are satisfied. You know they can install a roof within 2 days? Isn't that amazing? And not only that, they're going to guarantee it for a half a century, 50 years. Look, Better Business Bureau, Business of the Year, they're the best. And they're great folks. They're just absolutely wonderful folks. You'll love Frank, you'll love his wife Becky, and you'll love their son James. Earhart Roofing, here's the number, 345-5555. 345-5555. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron here on KOAN, KVNT, 7:18 in the morning. Our number, 569-1080. We're talking about truth in the minimum wage and the fact that we don't reach 60% of the populace. 60% of the populace is really rarely exposed to conservative thought. So when they think minimum wage, yeah, people should have a living wage. They should be able to support their family. They don't know the truth about it. And so they vote accordingly.
You can't support your family on $9.75 an hour anyway.
I know.
And plus, you're not going to get a full-time job because Obamacare stopped all those.
That's right. So, but the argument is not pro-con minimum wage. The argument is, what we're looking at this morning is, how do we get the 60% of the populace that are brainwashed with leftism in the public school system? How do we deprogram them? How do we get to them? And Bonnie, you said you had some strong comments about it for the break.
Well, this election coming up really makes me nervous because we've got the union vote, number one.
Like here locally, AO37?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
so that is a local.
Statewide,
yes.
it's the AFL-CIO ticket that Walker signed on for.
Right. And then the Measure 2 will be pot. And then we also have the minimum wage. Mm-hmm. And then we've got the Mark Begich, Dan Sullivan, the Bill Walker, Sean Parnell. I'm honestly really worried about this November. More so than I've ever been before, because the popular thought is going to more government, less, more control, more government, and that's just the way things are going. And it makes you, Dan, mad when I say that because it sounds hopeless. But I don't think with people just having hope, that does enough. Just hoping for change does not do enough. People do not change things until they're mad about it. And that's what I try to do, is get people aware of the things going on so that they get mad about it and do some change, not just sit in their chair at home and hope for change.
Well, I hope, though, that they take your suggestion and get mad about something that they can do, because the idea that Americans are powerless to affect the outcomes in their own life is just flat wrong.
Well,
it is completely wrong. You know what? You yourself, whoever's listening to me, you would not ever have to work for a minimum wage if you had a good education. And if you went out and made the right friends and got the right skills, you'll never work for minimum wage. That just won't be part of your life. So this conversation we're having here is irrelevant, will be largely irrelevant to a lot of people.
I'm trying to get people not just mad, but aware of things. That's why I go on Facebook, I put my thoughts down, I put my opinions, and a lot of times I get people who, get into the debate with me, and sometimes they learn something. I don't normally change my opinion, but I do make people change their minds sometimes, and it's by making them mad and aware of things. So just like you're trying to make people aware of what could happen if Mark Begich gets elected, that's what I try to do by making people aware about things going on in our lives that should make them mad. Getting mad at something and being hopeful are two different things. You can be hopeful, but make change too. Hope does not spur people to change. Okay, let me have it.
Glenn gets mad at me when I say this. And I'm sorry, Glenn, but I have to say, I keep hearing you guys saying, I'm trying. I want people to see this. I want people to see that. Your loyalty and faith and hope has to be in truth. Truth, it's like I've said it before, in golf, it's all about letting the club do the work. The harder you swing does not necessarily mean the ball's going to go farther. You have to have enough faith and truth that if you speak it, it'll do its own thing. This idea of trying to cause people to be afraid and to worry and to be depressed debilitates people. It causes them to shrink. Fear and worry is what you're promoting, is what you're preaching.
No, it's not. I'm trying to get them to get off their couches and go vote the way that I want them to go vote.
I understand. Again, it's you. My thing is, if I simply speak the truth in and of itself has enough power to motivate people. I don't have to depress them. I speak freely. I speak accurately. I speak without fear of being disliked. But I'm not trying to get anybody to do anything because people can see through that. I asked the preacher one time. I said, this was on the radio. It was like a famous preacher. He said, what do you tell people who say, oh, I don't need God? He says, I tell them, that's great. Congratulations. He says, that's wonderful. I said, what? You tell them? I said, yeah. He said, because I believe in my heart that it is true everybody needs God because God created this God-shaped vacuum in all of us, and He's the only one who can fill it. So if this person has come to the conclusion they don't need God, well, they must not need God. And I don't try to persuade anybody. I'll talk about God and how wonderful He is, and that truth will draw people to Him. But I'm never trying to persuade anybody. I never try to convert anybody. He said that's why Christians have such a bad name. Because we go around trying to convert people. People don't want to be converted. They want to know what's wrong and what's right and what's real and what's not. And our job is not to persuade and convert. Our job is to speak what we believe to be true, regardless of the impact it may have.
How is that any different than what I just said?
Because
I'm doing that too.
Yeah. Well, you say, I fear, I worry, I fear, I worry.
Well, these are just opinions.
Yeah, but my point is you are in a state of fear and worry.
No, I'm not.
You just said.
No.
If I go back and play the tape, every sentence you made was, I fear, I worry, I'm concerned, I fear, I worry.
I don't know. No,
But if you had faith in the truth, you wouldn't have what the message should be is, look, we've got the truth on our side. Freedom is what works. Control is not what works. And I know if we can reach enough people and they can understand the power and beauty of freedom, they will gravitate toward it. So I'm not worried.
Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I'm confident that these people like Mark Begich and Bill Walker and the unions and Byron Malott, who are control people, I'm confident that when people realize that this is not about freedom, it's about control, that they don't trust you as a voter, I'm confident people will turn and be motivated to get out there and stop this onslaught of control.
And isn't that what I'm doing by, speaking my piece and telling people why I believe what I believe? And isn't that what I'm doing by posting that on Facebook? And
I suppose it just sounds defeatist to me.
Oh,
like when Glenn, you talk about,
I'll work on that.
We'll give up. Well, we've lost the argument. We've lost, as though past tense. I mean, no, truth never loses.
I don't believe that we've lost, because even if we lose this election, it will work itself out to show that it didn't work to begin with.
Well, that's not true sometimes, because if you make a bunch of bad decisions, great calamity can fall upon a people. So I do agree with that.
I do agree that could happen.
Yeah.
But then we'll have to go back to the way things were when it was good.
569-1080. 569-1080. Tom.
Good morning.
Morning.
I think we normally get it right at the polls. We have some setbacks from time to time. We elected Mark Begich. And some people wanted what Mark Begich will promise, even though he can't deliver. But then, after a few years, that we need somebody like Dan Sullivan. And, it's a want versus need thing, and people will get it right. Look at the state of Alaska. We've screwed up in some of our votes, but we've got enough of them right that we have a very successful future ahead of us. And I think that people, when they go to the polls this year, will realize that they will need to put the right people like Dan Sullivan and Sean Parnell and a conservative House and Senate and Juneau into place to make sure that we have what we need in the future. There's not enough room for the wants right now, and we need certain things. And there again, a lot of people have said people in the state of Alaska seem to get it right more often than not.
Yeah, we do have a good track record. I'd agree with that, Glenn.
Yeah, well, look, our mayor here has been an amazing cleanup hitter after Begich.
Oh, yes.
I mean, what a superstar. What an amazing record of accomplishment in keeping taxes down and keeping services up and trying to deal with the absolute disaster that Mark Begich left us. Look, there are very strong and powerful and wise people who have decided to try and be leaders in the state of Alaska. We have a great future ahead of us. Now, we do have very, very strong special interests which have to be beaten. They don't have to be assuaged. They don't have to be reasoned with. The AFL-CIO ticket and the AFL-CIO Anchorage Ordinance 37 vote, which you have to vote yes on, by the way. They've already repealed it. If you want it to come back into place, you have to vote yes on it. That's the way that it works. They have to be beaten. And that's going to take a lot of effort, and it's going to take a lot of unity, and it's going to take a lot of people talking to their neighbor, because, frankly, all of the items that are in Anchorage Ordinance 37, they are all things that we want, that will stop the special interest from running our city and ruining our city.
So do not vote for Vince Beltrami in November.
He's running for governor. He's running for no on one for Anchorage Ordinance 37. Yeah, Vince Beltrami will run this state if he wins a few of these key races.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Tom. 729.
Fox Business Network stocks are trading
report
range as the Federal Reserve meets today. Investors expect the central bank to indicate it's moving closer to raising interest rates as the economy continues to gain strength. The Fed will release its policy statement tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by Chair Janet Yellen's news conference 30 minutes later. And the Fed has another economic report to review. Inflation at the wholesale level remained in check last month, with the producer price index coming in unchanged from July. The estimate was for an increase of 0.1%. Excluding food and energy, the so-called core index rose 0.1%, matching the estimate. And there's a big deal in the real estate industry. Washington Prime Group is buying rival mall operator Glimcher Realty Trust for just over $2 billion in cash and stock. The combined company will own nearly 120 malls and shopping centers around the country. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jolene Kent.
At Mathnasium Learning Centers, we make math make sense. Your child will leap ahead, whether they start out way behind or already ahead. It's how we've grown to more than 500 franchise locations. More at mathnasium.com or call for a free parent pack, 855-901-MATH. That's 855-901-6284. Learn what Mathnasium can do for your child. 855-901-6284. Mathnasium. We make math make sense.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. BP Alaska has announced a series of layoffs. 275 workers and contractors will lose their jobs by early 2015. The layoffs follow the sale of interests in 4 North Slope oil fields to Hillcorp. The Coast Guard rescued 3 hunters at Windy Lake near Kodiak after their tents got blown away by high winds and they couldn't stay warm enough to last through the night. A helicopter Sunday managed to land near the campsite and bring the men on board. Finally, as Ann Kenda reports, Anchorage's Blue Sack Library has unveiled its redesign plans.
A $15 million facelift is planned for the 28-year-old library. One popular feature is elimination of outdoor steps, which tend to get icy during the winter, and a glass front for a new ground floor entryway. The staff is also looking forward to an indoor book drop.
That's your Hot Talk News update. Local weather is next.
Sunshine and clouds for today with a brief shower or two. High 58. For tonight, cloudy with a passing shower. Low 47. Clouds and sunshine with spotty showers for tomorrow. High 56. Tomorrow night, low 46. Clouds and sunshine on Thursday. High 55. Friday, mostly cloudy. High 58. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This is Herb Ekman with Alaska Sausage. I have some news for you hunters. Our specials this year include our famous bratwurst, pastrami, Polish hot dog. Our specials are always very popular, and I believe you're really going to love these. We have been processing game meat for Alaskan hunters for over 45 years. We know superior products start with superior meat, and that's why we only accept clean game meat that's been well cared for before it gets to us. Our traditional old-world recipes turn your carefully prepared meat into superior products. You will be happy to serve your family and friends.
Alaska Sausage, 2914 Arctic Boulevard. And for our Valley customers, there's no need to bring your game all the way to Anchorage. Now you can simply drop your clean, boneless meat at Smoked Alaska Seafoods in Wasilla, where Alaska Sausage will pick it up, complete your order, and bring it back to you.
Just tell them Herb sent you.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
When Malarkey Mark Begich ran for U.S. Senator, he made a lot of claims about his record as Anchorage mayor. Begich knew the truth wouldn't come to light before the election. But now, history is caught up with Malarkey Mark. Under Begich, Anchorage taxes went up 27%. Under Begich, the city budget ballooned, a $142 million increase in spending. Under Begich, the city was saddled with unprecedented 5-year union contracts. Under Begich, a deficit of over $20 million was left for the next mayor to deal with. Begich left Anchorage in serious trouble. Alaska's Energy, America's Values paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. It's time to replace Malarkey Mark with U.S. Senator Dan Sullivan. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. EnergyandValues.com.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-10.
$7:35 on a Tuesday morning, the 16th day of September. Dan Fagan, Glen, Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, and our good old friend.
I'm old.
He's not that old.
He's an old friend. He's one of my oldest friends in Alaska. Keith Montauk. I think you were probably, were you my first or second sponsor over QD? You were up there.
If I wasn't your first, the other one cheated.
You know who it was? Who he just passed to? Josh Jeanette.
Oh.
Yeah, he was my first sponsor. I think you were second.
I will follow Josh anywhere.
Yeah.
Josh was a great man.
He was. Keith Montauk, Specialty Truck and Auto. How you been?
I'm doing good.
You still working for make it a better life for our veterans, I'm assuming. You and Bob Kendopoulos.
We try.
Saltwater Safari. This tournament you and Bob put together, how many years ago?
This will be our 9th year coming up.
The combat fishing tournament, right?
Uh-huh.
Every year you take how many?
Well, up to 300. Just depends on how many boat seats we got.
And, everybody knows about this, but well, maybe not.
No, I never knew it was that many.
Oh, it's huge. So you load them all up on a bus. These are combat veterans.
Yeah, we put them on buses about 1 o'clock in the morning, and
do they have reveille or anything else? I mean, that sounds kind of miserable.
Well, they sleep on the bus.
They're comfortable buses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're very comfortable.
Big fancy ones.
So we get them down to Seward about 4:30 in the morning. We get them on the buses get them on the boats by about 5:30. We do a shotgun start out of the harbor about 6 o'clock. Somewhere between 30 and 35 boats will be out there.
That's amazing. Wow. And all these captains, they all volunteer.
They give it all away.
That's amazing.
Yep.
And then you have all day fishing.
Yep. They're usually in by about 4 o'clock. We got a big banquet that starts at 6 o'clock. Give a bunch of money away. Lots of big door prizes. Last year Hobo Jim was there, sang for him a little bit, and Bob and Mark come down and MC it all the time.
You had Sarah Palin there one year, didn't you?
Sarah was there.
Yeah,
Sean's been there.
Other governors?
Uh-huh. Sean's been there.
Yeah.
Joe Masters has come down a couple times.
Wow.
While he was commissioner.
Yeah.
We've had lots of good people. We don't let any of the brass show up.
Yeah.
And we've planned that from the beginning.
So they can relax.
Yeah, we want these guys to just come down, have a good time, and say what they want to say and do what they want to do, and not feel like they're answering to anybody.
Yeah. That's one version of what he does. But I went one year. I don't know that I was at the tournament, but I went fishing with Bob, and I think you were there. Was that the tournament?
I've seen you on a boat.
Well, it was 2 times, but we'll get into that in a minute. But when Bob Kendopoulos and Keith was there too, start to begin to talk about what it means to these guys, it gets very emotional. They can't believe that we care about them to the degree that we do, and I say we, you guys. I mean, they're overwhelmed with emotion. Fair?
Yeah, I think they're a little surprised. I think their COs might purposely leave them in the dark a little bit. What the plans are.
Oh, is that right?
Some of them seem to be a little confused. They don't know for sure what they're fishing for, where they're going fishing, what the plan is. The troopers have helped us out every year, helping us get the buses down there and back.
As far as escort?
Yeah.
Nice.
And so these kids will oftentimes get off the bus in Seward and say,
"What are we doing here?"
Who's on the bus that's so important?
Oh, that's cool.
They're expecting. They must. There's
Vice
got to be.
president or
Well, there got to be a 5-star or
Yeah.
4-star, so somebody, because they
Yeah.
sure didn't do this for us.
Right.
Wow.
And the city of Seward gets out there and they stand on the streets and wave
Oh,
flags. And,
It's awesome.
but yeah, they're. I think through the whole day, I don't think it really hits them till 9 o'clock at night when we're loading them back up on the buses heading back to Anchorage that we realized that was just all for them.
Everybody gets something.
Everybody. More than one.
And this started in a bar in Reno, Nevada. You and Bob
are
sitting there.
We were at a piano bar and during Safari Club International. So that's, it's Texans, Alaskans, South Africaners, and New Zealanders.
Yeah.
So it's a fairly right-wing crowd.
Yeah.
And this gal with this UCLA, nothing against UCLA, but they got this little game they play, and it's play that song, and you go up and ask the guy to play a song, they'll play a song, but if somebody comes up and then want to tip more than you tip to get your song played, your song stops and they start a new song. Well, this guy had asked for, I can't remember what the song was, either God Bless America or some very patriotic song, and this gal got up and she wanted to stop it.
Wow.
And the piano player, and I don't know that he saw the world the same way I did either, but he just didn't know that it was the right time to stop playing that song. He thought, I tell you what, keep your money. We're going to finish this song.
Yeah.
No. She says, no, that's not how the game plays.
Wow.
Oh.
So he kept playing and trying to reason with her, and she wasn't going to give in. So
this wasn't like Nancy Pelosi or anything, was it?
Her daughter or something. So the guy finally gave in, quit playing the song, and started playing her song. And the Texan that had bought that first song got up, and I don't know, but he paid $20 for the first time. She'd come up, got her friends to scratch up $21.10 or something, and so he comes up with like a $50 bill and says, no.
Yeah.
We ain't listening to that garbage. Let's start that song over. So this went back and forth 4 or 5 times before finally the Texan's up there with a couple $300 and says, no, she can't come up with enough money to beat me.
Yeah.
We're going to play my song.
Uh-huh.
And the crowd was getting restless.
Yes.
And I told Bob, I said, hey, I've been in this bar every year for years and years and years, and this thing always erupts. I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
I think it's getting thick in here.
Yeah.
We should probably go. So we went, sat down to have a steak, and I told Bob, me and Bob had been talking about it for years, about trying to do something for these guys, and I told him we need to quit talking.
Bob Kendopoulos, Saltwater Safari. He's a captain of a charter.
He's got a company down in Seward called Saltwater Safaris.
Right. Great guy.
Started business about the same time I did. Great guy. Incredible. Very patriotic.
Yeah.
I told him we need to quit talking, and we just need to make this happen. So that was in the end of January in 07, I think, and by May we had a fishing tournament put together. So
what'd you start out with? How many did you take the first
We took
year?
60 guys.
Wow. That's
We just did Bob's 2 boats for 2 days. And, and then everybody in Seward seemed interested, and we never had any intention to make it into a big thing. It was just supposed to be Bob's 2 boats, and me and Bob taking these guys out for 2 days. I would pay for a day, Bob would pay for a day, and everybody'd be happy. And
And now what? You taking hundreds, 300?
Up to 300.
Yeah. And how many businesses help you? Too many to count.
Well, we get up. The most we've had is 35 charter boats.
Wow. But you get sponsors too. People can get gifts. And
We've given up to $50,000 in cash away. Wow. We've given new trucks away,
awesome.
4-wheelers, motorcycles.
And the Armed Services YMCA, they're real involved now.
Well, they've been a partner from the beginning.
Yeah.
One of the challenges to helping out junior enlisted is you can't get to them.
Yeah.
So I think, unfortunately, I think there's lots of people would love to do things for these guys, but you literally cannot get to them. You can't call them. You can't stop by their house. I mean, that gate is very guarded.
You just have to be known. They just have to know to ask.
Correct. So you got to find a way to get to them, and that's how the Armed Service YMCA of Alaska got involved.
Keith Montauk, Specialty Truck and Auto, and Patriot is here with us. 744 Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. Patriot is here with us. 744 Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie.
Fagan and Biegel. You're on with Fagan and Biegel on 1080KOAN.com.
Here at the hospital, the focus is patient health. But as the administrator, my focus is patient information. Medical histories, lab results, millions of documents printed, scanned, and accessed.
With intelligent EchoSys printers and powerful MFPs like the 45-page per minute Task Alpha 4551 CI, plus customized apps and services, Kyocera helps you manage the many documents that matter.
At a hospital, every document is important.
Learn more at kyoceradocumentsolutions.com/US.
Royal Business Systems has been a leading provider of high-quality business technology and services since 1990. Royal Business Systems provides HP, Okidata, and Kyocera printers and MFPs, and support recognized throughout the industry as best in class. Come to Royal Business Systems for the total document solution you need to succeed in a competitive marketplace. Don't call 1-800-WHO-CARES. Call Royal Business Systems at 563-4118. That's 563-4118. Or visit us at akcopy.net.
If you're ready for the movies, there's just one place to go. Check out moviesacre.com. It's showtime, movie times, reviews, and more. Get tickets, friends stuff, lots of information to explore. Great restaurants. Now you'll know just where to go before and after every show. Check out moviesacre.com. It's showtime.
Trail Boss Solutions is an Alaskan-owned, nationally recognized top 500 construction and remodel firm. From our handyman services to our award-winning kitchen design and remodel, Trail Boss Solutions is fully licensed, bonded, and insured, and has the experienced professionals to take your project from initial design through completion on time and on budget. Please visit us on the web at trailboss-solutions.com or contact Trail Boss Solutions direct at 646-1403.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of the Valley. KVN.
$7:47 on a Tuesday morning, the 16th day of September. Dan Fagan, Glen, Biegel, Bonnie Cameron in the studio with you. Keith Montauk, Specialty Truck and Auto, who is the founder of the Combat Fishing Tournament, along with his good buddy Bob Kendopoulos with Saltwater Safari. He's also founder. Bob's not here, but Keith is. We're talking about the 2 worst days of my life I spent with Keith.
The truth is going to come out.
The second time, and I don't know why, how you wrote me into a second day. How in the world did I say yes after that first day? And I went deep sea water fishing, whatever they call it. We're out there, and there's a bunch of people, and the boat is just, it's like a little miniature boat in a bathtub, when kids are splashing water around. I mean, we're just being rocked.
It's because you always think it's going to be better.
Well, I guess Keith has this power of persuasion over me. I don't know. It's not that he was a sponsor, because I consider you a friend more than a sponsor. And I just felt like, well, yeah, I'll go.
He called you a pansy, didn't he?
Not to his face.
Not to his face. All right.
So we go in, and we go way, way, way out. The thing about it is, too, that, Louisiana, we'd go water skiing a lot and all that. You fall in the water, it's no big deal. You kind of enjoy the water. You fall in the water here, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
You're just dead. There's no, maybe I'll hang out for 3 minutes. No, about 40 seconds, you're dead.
No drama there.
How long will you last in the water?
Well, I think longer than 40 seconds.
No matter what, 5 minutes? Well, now, a guy like me with extra cushion, I'd probably go last a little longer than Bonnie. But, no more than 5 minutes, right?
I think after a few minutes, it would be very tough to stay afloat.
Stay alive.
Well, if you don't stay afloat, you're probably.
But the temperature, wouldn't it? Because it's too cold. You saw Titanic.
You end up with.
Titanic was in like March or something, and there was icebergs in the stinking water.
Yeah.
Where the heck were you anyway? Yeah. You're out of Seward.
It's like the Gulf of Mexico, down there by Seward. Yeah,
no, it's not that cold.
But bottom line is, we stop after flying out over these big gigantic waves, and I'm thinking, well, we're going to obviously go somewhere where it's calm, because you can't fish in this because we've almost already lost our lives 5 or 6 times. And we stop, and the boat just boom, boom, boom. And Keith says, "Okay, this is good. Let's stop here." I couldn't believe it. So how people can't stand? And I don't know, half hour into the thing, I'm telling you, Keith, I've never given childbirth, but there's no way it's as bad as this. I mean, you got to admit, I wanted to die.
You looked like you were not having fun. You wouldn't even talk to me.
I didn't want to talk to anybody. And I told Glen during the break, if I had a gun, I would say, hey, someone's going to die every 5 minutes till we turn his boat back.
So bottom line, just give him an epidural next time.
No, that'll
be fine.
No, I'll never go back. I mean, I enjoyed the time. The first time was fun. It was calm, some of it, but then we got into rough stuff. But there's nothing like going out there and smoking a cigar. I'm not really a fisherman dude. I've never really been a fisherman dude. I remember the first time, you and your girlfriend, or maybe it was, I don't know, some woman.
You and someone
that was trying to impress. You guys got into like a little battle over who could catch the most. And you extended the trip because she'd catch one, and then you wanted to catch another one. And the trip kept getting longer and longer. And I'm in excruciating pain here. And you guys are having a contest.
He's got no comment on that.
None whatsoever.
Still trying to figure out who the girl was.
Did she win?
Yeah,
she must have won.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. That's a great answer.
We had Sharon Lehow and San Juanito on the trip. Remember that?
You could be right.
Yeah. And it was
Matt Neville probably.
I think Neville was there on the death trip. We had Steeran and his son. Steeran's son also was very sick. Jack Michaels with the Aces.
And Steeran talks smack like nobody's business.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, he was sick too.
He didn't get sick.
No, he was sick.
Oh, good.
Everybody got sick. You even got sick.
No.
Oh, hold on. Wait a second. Time out there, pal.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
I don't know if anybody was.
Not even queasy?
No.
What are you? Are you?
I just
Aquaman or something?
No, I have a few drinks the night before. Relax. Have some spicy food.
Seriously.
Oh man.
Sure.
He tempts all the fates. He's like, bring it.
Well, I had brought a cigar, but I didn't get to it.
You just gotta. It's just a mind over matter thing. You just gotta.
You just gotta be tough.
So you're saying I'm weak?
No,
you can't be a wimp.
I have no mind over matter.
But Dan, did you even try like the Dramamine?
No, I don't think that's.
Yeah, he doesn't. So
I don't think it's. Yeah, that
for
stuff
girls.
doesn't work anyway.
Ginger cookies, by the way, do actually.
If you're hungry. Yeah.
No, even if you're not hungry, but if you're gonna get sick, ginger cookies, they actually do. They help a lot.
The second day there was lots of sick people.
Yeah, the second time, yeah. But I remember and then I remember a couple years after that you invited me and I turned you down, but yet you still filled my freezer with fish.
Aw.
Oh.
Now that's a friend, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course, it's been a couple of years since he's done that.
Well, you've been gone.
Exactly.
Did you want him to send it to you?
You have not been around.
Oh, man.
So how are things? You're on the board at the Armed Services YMCA, right?
I am, yep.
So, you gave us a tour out there. Actually, I don't know if you were there, but we got a tour, and it's so impressive what this organization does. Basically, they undergird and supplement what the military doesn't do, which I think should be doing, to improve the lives of those who are in the armed services.
Right.
Fair?
I think an easy way to explain it is, as hard as it is to believe, and a lot of people don't realize, there's no such thing as a USO in Alaska. And USO has no interest to come into Alaska.
Why?
I guess we don't have enough military up here or something.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
That's terrible.
Although lots of people donate to USO, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think that money would be better donated to a local organization that fills those voids. We do lots of things. There's so many things that the average person just assumes that our government is taking care of for these guys, and they're not. And I don't think we can afford to do it all for them, but there's some things that need to be done. So what we try to do is we probably do as much for the spouse and the family as we do for the deployed. So, I mean, if any need they have at all, I mean, we got food pantries, as hard as that is to believe. We've got thrift stores.
Glen, have you ever been out there and toured the Armed Services YMCA?
No.
Bonnie, have you?
No.
Can we get them on the tour?
We'll all go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You probably need to see it again.
I'm
I'll tell you
looking
this.
forward to the boat ride out.
No.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one of the most emotional things I've ever seen is the gal who was giving us a tour, because you mentioned food pantry, and she said how
you liked her accent, didn't you?
I think I did. Yeah.
It made you feel at home.
But she talked about the spouses, mostly women, coming in so embarrassed, so humble, and they said, "I can't feed my family."
Tough situation for troops, that's for sure.
And the armed
They're
services,
just not well paid.
Well, the Armed Services YMCA, they had a food pantry. Can you imagine if the Armed Services YMCA was not there? What would they do?
Well, there's lots of food pantries around town, but the problem is these guys don't even have a vehicle.
Yeah.
They don't have a way to get to the other food pantries. They don't have, there's so few services for these guys on the base. There's in the city of Anchorage, there's lots of services for people that can't help themselves. I personally think there's too many. But these guys can't even get to those. They're stuck. They're in the barracks. They don't have a car. They don't have money to put gas in the car if they had a car.
Their spouse is overseas for an indefinite amount of time.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Can you imagine having 2-3 kids?
So we try to do lots of things for them. We got child care in the hospitals in Fairbanks and in Anchorage. So when they go in to an appointment, they can drop their child off at the little daycare place. It's only a couple-hour thing. We've got the airport lounges in Anchorage and Fairbanks. Lots of people think those are USO airport lounges. Those are ours.
Yeah.
And thanks to people like John Parrott that help us make that happen, because obviously we can't afford to rent that space. So the state has been very generous to us to help us out with that. We got what we call an after 5 boutique. So when the guys want to take their wife to an event, they don't have to go buy some crazy expensive dress. They can come in and we got lots of new stuff in there. They can just pick out what they want, and dresses, shoes, everything you could think of is there. We even got some furs.
I love. Did you have like a father-daughter ball?
We got a father-daughter ball. Yep. We got a mother-son adventure. We got the combat fishing thing. Got golf tournaments. Lots of people. We go out to the community all the time looking for movie tickets and Aces hockey tickets and Seawolves hockey tickets and baseball tickets and all that stuff. So anytime the guys need something to do, they can come in, and we've usually got something to entertain them. We get fishing trips donated. The railroad gives us lots of passes to go. They can go on little railroad adventures, and lots of hotels work with us and give us stuff so we can entertain the guys with that.
Key parts of a lot of people's experience in the military in Alaska. You guys are a big part of that.
The number in Anchorage is 552-9622, right?
It is.
If people want to give and contribute, I can't imagine a better cause. 552-9622. Again, 552-9622. Keith Montagnard, Specialty Truck and Auto. It's good to see you again.
It's good to be here.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
7:59. Fagan, Bonnie, and Biegel. 7:59. Fagan, Bonnie, and Biegel.
You got it.
At Amana, the Millionaire Heat Exchange
Lottery presents Monthly Lotto with a new drawing every month. Tickets are just $2 each or 10 for $10. The winner receives half of everything collected. Drawings will be held on the 30th of every month. Call the Alaska Lottery hotline at 56-LOTTO. That's 565-6886 for information and prize updates. Charitable gaming in Alaska raises millions of dollars every year for nonprofit organizations statewide. Get your tickets today at the new Tudor Bingo Center at 1436 East Tudor Road, Tudor Charity Tabs at 343 West Benson, or the Alaska Lottery kiosk on the first floor of the 5th Avenue Mall. You don't have to be present to win, but you gotta play to win. Brought to you by Greater Anchorage Inc., Ferrande, and Alaska Lottery.
Get your schnitt together. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. KOAN. Hot talk all day. Hot talk every day. 95.1 FM, 1080 AM. KOAN, Anchorage.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. The president has ruled out ground combat, but the Joint Chiefs chairman is not if the current plan to defeat ISIS fails. This at a Senate hearing that continues. Fox News Radio Steve Taylor live in Washington.
Senators are asking a lot of if questions. Joint Chiefs General Martin Dempsey says he sees no current reason why U.S. ground troops should join the fight against ISIS.
They're doing fine. We're able to provide them air power using full motion video and system.
Who is doing fine?
The Iraqi security forces and the Peshmerga.
That is the Kurdish force fighting ISIS. Dempsey adds about U.S. forces.
If I get to the point where for a particular mission I think they should accompany, I'll make that recommendation.
But the chairman adds he's not there now. Lisa.
Well, Steve, anti-war protesters making repeated outbursts.
Would you please not take advantage of the freedom of this place? And will you please remove this lady from the room? Thank you.
Testing the patience of committee chairman, Democrat Carl Levin. President Obama turning attention this hour to the Ebola outbreak in West Africa and U.S. efforts to help contain it. He's traveling to the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta, where Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern is live outside. Filed this just a short time ago.
It will be a ramped-up response to the Ebola outbreak. A U.S. military force of 3,000 will be sent to West Africa to lead an international relief effort that President Obama describes as a top national security priority. The U.S. will set up more than 100 health clinics and airlift medical supplies to Liberia. Both White House and Pentagon officials say the concern is not Ebola spreading to the U.S., but rather creating instability in an already volatile part of the world. 2 American troops and 1 from Poland killed in Afghanistan today by a Taliban suicide bomber who detonated his car near the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Gear up for fall and haul in the savings. Choose 0% 60-month financing or big cash off select John Deere tractors. From the 1 family to 150 horsepower utility tractors. Plus, get $1,500 off new 1 family tractors when you buy 2 implements. Offer ends October 31st, 2014, subject to approved credit on John Deere financial installment plan. Some restrictions apply. See your participating dealer for details.
Visit your local John Deere dealer today to take advantage of special savings going on now. Find out more at myjohndeeredealer.com.
Attention homeowners, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. We've told you about HARP in the past. There are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. It's simple and easy. And for 4 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. To learn more, call 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal licensing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 30.
What in the name of Blackbeard's Ghost is going on here?
Yar, it's the 2014 Pirate Pub Crawl in downtown Anchorage, Cotton, on Saturday, September 20th.
Shiver me timbers, we'll need to batten down the hatches and set our course to help raise money for the Blood Bank of Alaska's treasure chest, else we'll be sent to Davy Jones' locker.
Aye, navigate your way to Town Square at 7 p.m. for a group photo with your crew. Make way anytime after 7 p.m. to the participating pubs in downtown Anchorage with your treasure map to win 80,000 air miles and more.
Jive ho to AnchorageDowntown.org for more details and discounts on hotel stay, costumes, and parking at Easy Park lots for the night.
Yo ho, me hearties.
We best be seeing your scallywags at the Pirate Pub Crawl on September 20th.
Brought to you by the Anchorage Downtown Pirate Ship, K&H Graphics, the Blood Bank of Alaska, the Odom Corporation, Dooley's Tuxedos and Rentals, and Alaska Integrated Media.
Hi, my name is Mike Ferris, president of Alaska Enterprise Solutions. We are the face of Xerox in Alaska. Xerox is a trendsetter, and AES Xerox is following in those footsteps. We are the document management experts, specializing in short-term rentals of copiers and scanners. We have offices in Anchorage and Fairbanks, and we are your Xerox professional agency with an Alaska focus and worldwide support. You can reach us at aesalaska.com or 561-5100.
When I grow up, I want to be a pro basketball player.
An elementary school teacher.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, Country Financial helps you and your family grow your own way.
Or maybe a veterinarian.
A mom, a doctor, and president of the United States. Maybe an astronaut or, an Olympic gymnast.
You can go your own way. We know some dreams take a little longer to achieve, which is why your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything. From auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream.
Or maybe an accountant, like my dad.
For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
What if buying your next car could actually be enjoyable? At Payless Car Sales, we believe it should be. If you're in the market for your next car, come by and meet our knowledgeable staff and explore our selection of quality vehicles. We offer military discounts, and we give all of our customers Carfax history reports. We can also provide warranties and handle all of your lending needs. Just like driving your car should be enjoyable, so should buying it. Visit us downtown at 919 East 5th Avenue or on our website at paylesssales.com. Payless Car Sales, where Alaskans drive.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley. KVNT.
6 minutes past 8 o'clock here on a Tuesday morning. Hope your morning's going well. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. Mike Daniels, our good friend of our Country Financial. He heads up 13 different locations in Alaska. Maybe you didn't know Country Financial had such a presence in Alaska, but it does. And Alaskans for years have been seeing country representatives to get to a place where they can comfortably retire, stress-free, worry-free. That's what Mike Daniels' team at Country Financial will do for you. They'll ask you the right questions. They'll make sure that you're making the right decisions regarding your finances. They have so much wisdom. There's nothing more powerful than wisdom, is there? Going to experts who've dedicated their lives to a certain expertise, and that's the folks at Country Financial. Look, we all want to have a nice retirement. We all want to be able to stop working someday and enjoy our family, travel, not have to worry about getting a part-time job just to live. Country Financial, the folks there can help you get there. Here's the number. Call Mike Daniels and his team, 866-COUNTRY. 866-COUNTRY. Country is spelled
COUNTRY.
7 minutes past 8 o'clock. Is that not funny yet? I don't think it is. I think it's still funny.
No, it's still funny.
569-1080. How about that Montauk guy, huh? He's just one of these guys that, he's just cut above.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's the kind of guy who'll take you out in a boat, get you all sick, and then start laughing at you,
mock you.
The good guy, the really good guy.
How you feeling down there, Dan, in that fetal position, moaning uncontrollably? You feeling good? That comfortable for you?
Man.
Can I get you a big cheeseburger or something?
That's right. No, there are gems, and the thing is, I'm convinced of this, even if they're not as dramatically amazing as Keith Montronock, that there are a lot of good people around us, and they're doing little things, good things all the time. Keith does some really big things, and he's very important. Man, you see how many lives he gets to touch.
I believe the vast majority of Americans' heart swells with gratitude over the thought of the sacrifice men and women in uniform play for them in this country.
Mm-hmm.
But Glenn, the 60s hippie movement, which spat on military personnel and demonized them and looked down upon them, that movement is still here. It's underground because it's one of the few politically incorrect things that actually should be politically incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
But I still sense, when I talk to a hard leftist, I had one of them. He was running for mayor, one of these fringe candidates. The only time I ever was, just 2 times. One of 2 times that I ever physically remove someone from my studio. I forget the guy's name, but he started talking about the military and how this is back in the Iraq War and how, that our U.S. military is the same as Nazi Germany. They're murdering people, killing innocents. Everybody was emotional about the war, 9/11, and I stopped the interview. Said, "Get out of my studio, get it." And I literally said, "Stand up, get out." And he left. And he was a smaller guy. If he was a big guy, I probably would have done it, but he was very small in stature. And that there is that in the left. There are some on the left who honestly believe that America is a force for bad, a force for oppression, and the military is responsible for executing that oppression. There are many on the left who honestly believe that. And to be honest with you, I believe in my heart, and I do not know this for a fact, it is pure speculation. It's not pure speculation. It's speculation based on what I see as evidence. I believe our commander-in-chief is...
I would agree with that.
Well, this is the difficulty I always have with people who think our military is something that it's not. I guess they wouldn't know. Most Americans, if you're fairly well off, you don't have to live in dangerous parts of town. It's like rich liberals who are against gun rights and that they have armed guards.
And they're against school choice, but
Right.
their kids go to the best
They're
schools.
against school choice, but their kids go to
They're
whatever
against
school.
climate change, but they get on their big private jets.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
let's go on.
So anyway, that I know that there's a lot of people who really do not know how violent and how horrible this world really is. But the other thing that they don't realize, and this is the part I don't really think they've ever confronted, if the United States military was the force of evil that they thought it was, this world would be a very different place. Question: if America wanted to glass over Iraq and subjugate it to our will and take all of their oil, how long do you think it would have taken for us to do that?
Easy.
Days, maybe a week.
Yeah.
Wait,
Tankers would have been flowing.
It wouldn't have been any question. So you get back to this belief, and it's so firmly held by people on the left. We went there for oil. We're going to take their oil. We went there, and we are out killing people. If we wanted to kill every person in that country, we would have. And it wouldn't have been hard, and it wouldn't have taken a long period of time, and we would have lost a lot less soldiers, and we would have spent a lot less money, and we would have lost a lot less blood. If we wanted to kill every person in Iraq, we could have done it with ease, and we could do that with any country. If our forces were the forces that the left truly believes that they are, can you imagine how much death and destruction they could wield? It would be unimaginable. That's how wrong they are. And they don't even know it because they've never seen anything like it. They don't know that the world's not pretty and nice, and when you get into a war situation where you have forces on one side, people using human shields, that frankly, a lot of times, there are no good options for you. There are no easy answers. And that you ask your troops to do really horrible, awful, terrible things.
I remember talking to Les Guerra back then, and he was supposed to go into Iraq, and I said, why? He said, well, we're just going there for the oil. I wonder what he would say now that it is abundantly clear that oil had nothing to do with why we went over there. I wonder what he would say now.
I hope that every person on the left does ask themselves that question, and I would guess 95% of them would say, oh, it was over oil. And then you'd say,
even
well,
though it's obvious.
How is it over oil? And they say, well, it was over oil.
How
That's
is it
what
obvious?
they had oil.
That's what I still hear them saying.
We didn't go in there. Oh, how's it obvious? Well, we didn't get their oil. That's how it's obvious.
I know, but see, they would probably
still
say
think we do.
George Bush is so stupid. We went over there for oil, and then we didn't take their oil. Something weird like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Which I disagree with, by the way. This is my biggest gripe with Bush, even more than his domestic spending, is this notion of nation building. We went over there and rebuilt the nation.
Mm-hmm.
We built some schools and infrastructure, which we didn't need to do. So the war cost us trillions.
Yeah,
we got
like
nothing
a trillion, I think, something like that.
Was it $1 trillion? Okay,
something like it's like $100 billion a year, and we were there for 10 years, spending that much money.
I thought it was a couple trillion with everything. Maybe I'm wrong.
Probably. But what's a trillion here or there?
Trillion here, trillion there. But the bottom line is,
are you cynics?
the left they completely ignore that.
But yeah, I would love to hear somebody call up and just tell us if you believe that.
814.
What do you think, man?
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
You know, there are many people in Anchorage who have their own special place for gifts for occasions like Mother's Day or birthdays, anniversaries, whatever. Into Bell's Nursery and Gifts they go. And there's always something perfect. Bell's Gift Shop on Specking Road has a truly incredible selection of unique creative gift ideas. Crystal, glass, and china and flatware, a wonderful kitchen section, candles, lotions and potions, and of course delicious C's candies and lots more. Great for browsing or finding that special gift. The Gift Shop at Bell's Nursery on Specking Road.
Mark Begich has voted with Barack Obama 97% of the time. Now, to distract you from the truth, Begich is falsely attacking Dan Sullivan with ads fact-checkers have called inflammatory and inaccurate. Shamefully, Begich has even resorted to attacking Dan Sullivan's service to our country. Mark Begich isn't true Alaska. He's pure Washington.
I'm Julie Fate Sullivan. After 9/11, my family left our home in Alaska so my husband, Dan Sullivan, could defend our country, first in the White House under Condoleezza Rice, then deploying overseas as a U.S. Marine. Now Mark Begich is attacking Dan for that service. As somebody whose family has been in Alaska for thousands of years, I have a message for Mark Begich. Alaskans respect military service. We don't attack it.
I'm Dan Sullivan. I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Sullivan for U.S. Senate.
Is it already time for your kindergartner to start learning reading, writing, and arithmetic? Would you like them to also learn science, history, and geography? Let's mix in the fun of music, art, and learning through play. Anchor Lutheran School offers this and much more in a class of no more than 22 students. Kindergarten through junior high enrolling now. Anchor Lutheran School on Arctic Boulevard, just north of Diamond. Visit alsalaska.org or call 522-3636 to learn more.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-1080. KOAN, KVNT, 92.5 FM, 1020 AM.
$8:17 in the morning. True Guys Chiropractic, Dr. Marvin Swigert and his team, they're all about helping you live a pain-free life, a healthy life, adjustment here, adjustment there. It's amazing what they can do for you. I found out last week that my right leg is shorter than my left leg. They gave me a little thing to put in my shoe, and all of a sudden, it makes a big difference. It really does. But that's what Dr. Swigert has dedicated his life to, examining you and making sure that you're healthy, your skeletal health is good, that your feet work well, that you're not living in pain. Some people just accept pain as a part of life. It doesn't have to be. And we're talking about natural solutions. We're not talking about taking a knife to you. Go see the folks at True Guys Chiropractic, Dr. Marvin Swigert, and they will help you lose weight. Glen used to be a fat ass. Now he lost 45 pounds. It looks great. Get Bonnie over there all shocked. Dr. Marvin Swigert, True Guys Chiropractic. Here's the number, 694-9224. 694-9224.
I prefer the term pleasantly plump or big boned. Thank you.
569-1080. You know, the anti-oil populist crowd, they're all excited. 475 workers laid off. You know, oh, we knew. SB 21. Here's what one commentator writes about the story. He says, the article missed a couple of pieces of information. How many employees will be on the two new platforms, and how much will these two new rigs cost? Guy by the name of Glen Biegel posted that today.
Don't you think? Here's my question, because whenever I read a story about workforce in Alaska, this is a very one-sided story.
the headlines.
Talk about headlines.
BP to reduce Alaska workforce by 475 early next year. They go through and say, well, 200 or more of the employees will be picked up by the Hill Corp that they sold their assets to.
This was all predetermined.
So obviously.
Yes, before the vote.
Right.
Yeah.
This is old news.
Yeah. And so anyway, but then they go in right in the middle and they say, well, they're still planning on doing their 2 new platforms, but they don't include any information that would offset the seriousness of the charge. You know, what was the one thing they said that the evidence, the reliability of the evidence cannot assault the seriousness of the charge. Clearly, the Anchorage Dispatch News or the Alaska Dispatch News or whatever they're called, they want this 475 as their headline.
Yes.
And anything which is going to detract from that, any piece of information which could possibly offset that and show that this is a very one-sided, slanted news article, that they're just not going to print it, which is why I think the 2 things that I asked for, very relevant. How many people are going to be on each of these rigs? My understanding is around 125.
Yep.
So that'll be 250 people out of the 275 maximum.
Well, here's the quote.
Let go.
Here's the quote. When I spoke with BP Alaska President Janet Weiss today, she assured me that BP remains on track for the new rigs planned for the North Slope and for the new investment promised to Alaskans. BP remains committed to increasing BP's activity at Prudhoe Bay as a result of oil tax reform. This is in a statement from BP. This includes additional investment of $1 billion over 5 years, including BP's 2 additional drilling rigs, one in 2015, one in 2016. This is Don Payson's quote. Payson said the employees who have not been offered work with Hill Corp will have the chance to state their preference for early retirement or severance packages. She said the news announcement Monday at a town hall meeting for BP's workforce. Well, your point is, right after that quote from Patience about these 2 new platforms, how many were those new platforms in 2016 and 2015? How many jobs will result as a result of those platforms? And to not address that is deception by default. That is intentionally leaving out, because any conservative, remember, these people do not understand conservative thought. Any conservative says, oh, you got 2 more platforms coming on. Well, will you need to hire new people for that? Well, of course you will. Well, how many will you have to hire? We don't know.
Do you think that they weren't provided the information?
No.
Of course they were provided the information.
They were waiting for this headline.
Yeah.
I guarantee
they wanted the headline.
It's deception by omission.
Whatever, because how many people honestly are going to read this? Even of the people who commented on this story, I will be willing to bet you 80 to 90% of them never read the story.
When I stopped to get my Alaska water for $1.20 at the gas station.
You get Alaska water. Anyway, that's funny.
There was a big stack of newspapers. Big headline.
Yep.
BP lays off hundreds, or whatever it is, whatever it says.
How many people are going to buy a paper, but they read, that's all they're going to see.
It's the only thing you see on the front page.
And I guarantee you, had the yes vote won, those people would still have been laid off and there would be no place for them to go.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
So at least now, because the no vote won, they'll have a job somewhere else. Because this thing happens. This happens in business. And so
they bought, and BP sold a portion of their company to another company. Of course you're going to lay people off. It has nothing to do with tax structure or environment.
And really, they're just being displaced.
Matt,
they're going somewhere else.
Here's one thing which is true. We have faith in a free market, that we've made a good decision on Senate Bill 21, and that these jobs, the people who lose their jobs will find other jobs within this industry, and that these 2 new platforms will probably even increase the number of people working.
The people who loathe and hate and are envious of the oil industry, they're never. This is just going to feed their hatred, feed their jealousy, feed their envy, and further blind them. Fine. What do we care? What do we? I noticed the F-bomb, by the way, is like becoming predominant now.
Is it from the same guy though? So because I thought
no,
it was
this is a different guy.
Okay, and
some
they
guys
literally keep saying it on the F-bomb,
yeah,
right?
F them if they're good at their job, blah blah blah. Yeah, some guy said F you blubber something to me personally the other day.
Yeah.
Apparently the Anchorage Daily News has decided, or Anchorage Dispatch News, they just decided
Katie barred the door.
No civility. necessary.
Yeah.
You know.
I noticed that. Normally those comments wouldn't be tolerated.
Yeah. Why?
That you are intolerant. Have I told you that?
I am intolerant. You're right. I'm not called to be tolerant.
Yeah. We tolerate things which are not good things. I mean, that's basically what tolerance oftentimes is. And it's not necessarily a good quality to tolerate things, because oftentimes we should confront things which shouldn't be out there. We should not tolerate people using bad language.
No, but this story and my thoughts on getting my thoughts out of there is for the people who will hear this at their workplace. See, you voted no, I voted yes, and this is what happens. This is what you tell them. This was predetermined. Now those people are going to find other places because the no vote won.
Yeah,
there is more work for them.
That's their answer. They don't have to think about their answer. They have a side. They have a tribe. They want to separate into tribes. One tribe wars with the other. You figure out how to take territory. I know, but I guarantee you the no vote people are going to hear it just because of that headline and because people won't do their research. Well, KTUU was a little fairer, by the way. They said 275 people because they know 200 people are going to get picked up. So the 475 is truly wrong.
Let's rise up 50,000 feet and look at a bigger picture here. As humans, we only have so much time. We only have so many resources. And there are clearly a segment of our population that are driven by hatred, envy, jealousy, and that dark heart has blinded them to truth. That segment probably can never be reached. I don't know how many that is. It may be 10%, it may be 25%, it could be as high as 40%, I don't know. But then there's a lot of other people, they're just low information voters.
Mm-hmm.
They've not been exposed to conservative thought, and when they hear truth, they're going to go, oh yeah, that sounds right to me. I never heard that before. So if we waste our time on these commenters on the Daily News who are so vitriolic and hateful and nasty and mean-spirited, are we not wasting our resources? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking the question.
Well, you talk about hope, and maybe there's hope for them. Don't you think there's hope for them?
Of course there is, but here's the thing. What I try to do in my comments is
that's a good one.
A key part of this story was left out. I believe, and this is maybe the scandalous part of this, that the reporter left it out even though they were provided with the information, which is pure bias. And then I think that if people realize, first of all, that the title's wrong because only 275 people are losing their job, 200 of them are transferring to Hillcorp at least. Right, so the 475 is literally wrong. They are moving jobs from one company to another company. No one's losing a job.
It's not literally wrong, because they
had to write it in just that way so that they could get the title. But it is an explanation of how biased Alex DeMarban is in writing this, and not only him, because he might not have chose the title.
Yeah, you never know with the headline.
But I do believe that Alex DeMarban knows how many people are employed on a platform. I've heard 125. Between 110 and 125 are employed specifically on a platform. So that would be between 220 and 250 of the 275 that are left over. Now what's up with your title? It goes from 475 down to 275, the real number.
Yeah.
And then it goes from 275 down to what, 25? 25 is the real number here. Yeah. That's the real story, and he doesn't want that story to come out. So I believe he left information out. Mm-hmm. That's the truth we've got to get out to people.
569-1080, 569-1080. I want to further. We got a break, but I want to explore a little bit more about the point that I made that you countered. But at first it sounded good, but I think you're wrong. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron, Dan Fagan.
I only had seconds of satisfaction that time.
8:28 is the time. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give them a call, 569-1080, KOAN.
Local news brought to you by Jansen Funeral Homes, Jansen's Evergreen Memorial Chapel, Jansen's Alaska Cremation Center, and Jansen's Eagle River Funeral Home. Jansen Funeral Homes, where just like family, they're there when you need them.
KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. Wasilla police shot and killed a man during a domestic incident on North Jack Nicklaus Drive in the Mission Hills subdivision yesterday. Local investigators ID'd the man as 23-year-old Michael Bonte. He said he was shot by officers after refusing to relinquish a weapon he was using to harm both himself and a woman who was inside the home. Members of the local law enforcement agency involved are on administrative leave, which is standard policy after an officer-involved shooting. Alaska State Police are handling the investigation. The Coast Guard rescued 3 hunters at Windy Lake near Kodiak after their tents got blown away by high winds and they couldn't stay warm enough to last through the night. Helicopters Sunday managed to land near the campsite and bring the men on board. Finally, Fairbanks has set a new record high temperature for September. Fairbanks hit 76 degrees Sunday, breaking a record of 73 degrees set back in 1938. That's your Hot Talk News update.
Sunshine and clouds for today with a brief shower or two. High 58. For tonight, cloudy with a passing shower. Low 47. Clouds and sunshine with spotty showers for tomorrow. High 56. Tomorrow night, low 46. Clouds and sunshine on Thursday. High 55. Friday, mostly cloudy. High 58. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather. KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Chris here along with my buddy Brock. That's right, we're here to tell you to tune into The Beer Show every Saturday at 5 p.m. on 95.5 and 1080 KOAN. The Beer Show is brought to you by Brown Jug Alaska, Eagle River Ale House, Great Artisan Beverages, and the Odom Corporation. Please drink responsibly.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Cutting down on the number of lies you tell might improve your mental and physical health. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's chief medical correspondent. We all tell lies from time to time. In fact, the average person tells about 11 lies a week. But a Notre Dame University study found that people who dramatically reduce the number of fibs they tell per day are healthier. They experience less stress, fewer headaches. They even improve their close personal relationships. You can reap these same benefits by simply limiting your little white lies to 1 a week. Now, I'm not talking about omitting the truth or dodging questions, but rather actual lies. And here's an important nugget. On any given day, you may be lied to anywhere from 10 to 200 times. It's not always easy to spot a liar, but experts say liars do look you in the eye. They usually don't stutter or fidget. The good news is other people's white lies have little impact on your health. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
You're the type who likes to seize the day, all 30 of them, during Member September. All month long, almost anything you get at Rite Aid gets you 3 times the Wellness Plus points, which gets you to gold and 20% off almost everything in the store 3 times faster. Yep, the best program in the business is now even better, by 3, but only during Member September and only at Rite Aid. Activate your membership at memberseptember.com today. Rite Aid. With us, it's personal. Limitations apply. Prescriptions ineligible for triple points. See store for details.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Get the Wave Ventilation Unit. It will transform your home into a drier, healthier environment. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call 1-888-964-WAVE. That's 1-888-964-WAVE.
Why is A&A the shop, Alaska's independent Subaru specialist? How is it they've been voted the best shop in Anchorage not once but 6 times? Well, it's pretty simple. They offer the best warranty in the business. If they work on your Subaru, you're going to get a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on both parts and labor. That's unheard of. A&A the shop deals exclusively with Subarus, and they also offer $35 oil changes. All their technicians are ASE certified. Call A&A the shop for an appointment. 562-3919 in Anchorage and 696-2096 in Eagle River.
When Malarkey Mark Begich ran for U.S. Senator, he made a lot of claims about his record as Anchorage mayor. Begich knew the truth wouldn't come to light before the election. But now, history is caught up with Malarkey Mark. Under Begich, Anchorage taxes went up 27%. Under Begich, the city budget ballooned, a $142 million increase in spending. Under Begich, the city was saddled with unprecedented 5-year union contracts. Under Begich, a deficit of over $20 million was left for the next mayor to deal with. Begich left Anchorage in serious trouble. Alaska's Energy, America's Values paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. It's time to replace Malarkey Mark with U.S. Senator Dan Sullivan. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. EnergyandValues.com.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on and Biegel 1080 KO.
"25 minutes ahead at 9 o'clock. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie here on a Tuesday morning. We're glad you're here. Payless Car Sales. You pay less. That's what they're called, Payless Car Sales. Ali Sheik and his team, great group of people. They're there to answer your questions, not to pressure you. You come onto their lot, you're going to see an amazing selection of some of the most beautiful cars and trucks and SUVs you've ever seen before. And again, no pressure. They're non-commissioned salespeople. And Ali has put together such a great team. You're going to love the experience. You know, a lot of people don't like to shop for cars. You will change your opinion of shopping for vehicles after you visited Payless Car Sales and Ali Sheik and his team over there on 919 East 5th Avenue. Payless Car Sales. Payless Car Sales. 919 East 5th Avenue. 8:36 is the time. Glen Biegel sitting right over there. He's got a fancy green shirt on. Bonnie's got something black on. And I'm over here.
What's the relevance of that?
I like to be descriptive. Draw the listener
Mine
in.
is
Some black thing?
a hatched,
gray, black,
checkered green shirt. It's medium, by the way. Medium.
569-1080. 569-1080 if you'd like to join the broadcast. You're on KOAN, KVNT. Sharon, you're on.
Hi, Dan. Yeah, I just wanted to come on and let your listeners know about my group Generation Opportunity and an opportunity for them to help out tonight and on Thursday.
So, what is your group really about? Are you? Give me the real skinny here.
Yeah, Generation Opportunity is a millennial advocacy group. So we talk about freedom-based issues, usually more so economic issues, and how they affect 18 to 34-year-olds.
So are you right of center, left of center?
I'd say we're more right of center, but we'll support any candidate that talks about lower taxes and
Gotcha.
More freedom.
And are you up here from where?
I'm up here from D.C., but I grew up here, so I know the area, but I'm up here from D.C. for the week.
So you live in D.C. now?
I do.
Are you here on behalf of Dan Sullivan?
No, I'm not. We're not connected, and haven't really talked to Dan Sullivan at all. But he definitely seems to be doing good work up here.
But you're up here to try to get more young people involved in the election.
Yes, we are. And 2 ways we're actually doing that. Tonight we are holding a millennial mixer on UAA campus, and it'll be an opportunity for people 18 to 34 years old to come out and reach out to other people who are in their age group and talk to them about liberty issues and make sure that they're registered to vote.
Where does your group stand on minimum wage?
A minimum wage, well, we think that it drives down the overall wage and that ends up hurting the lower class.
What do you think of Dan Sullivan coming out saying he's going to vote yes on the minimum wage initiative in Alaska?
Well, that is, we don't really get behind a candidate at all, so I can't talk too much on that.
But what do you think? Do you think he's right in doing that, or are you disappointed in him?
It's a little bit disappointing. I think it's a move of trying to work across the aisle, but in a way that won't end up helping people at all. It's more compromising on the issues that should be most important.
This is Sharon, and you're with Generational Opportunity. Is that right?
Generation Opportunity.
Generation Opportunity, millennial advocacy group. What do you make of Alaska? Are we left-wing? Are we right-wing? Are we confused? Are we libertarian?
I mean, I don't know. I consider myself an Alaskan because I've only been out for about a year or two. But, I mean, I think that we are more independent than a lot of people give us credit for. That we've been voting more right-wing the past years, but I know that Alaskans, just from my experience, Alaskans want to make up their own mind about a lot of things.
What would be the best thing for Alaska to do for millennials? What's the most positive change we could make?
I would say best thing for millennials would be for millennials ourselves to start talking about the issues and start being involved in the issues, and not just letting the discourse be shaped by people who don't really understand, I guess, what we're going through at the time.
How did hope and change work out for you guys?
It did not. I mean, it was definitely changed, but it was not changed in the right way at all. So it's disappointing, but I think that now people know that the country needs to put back on the right track after seeing people getting dropped from their health care plans, and after seeing people unable to get jobs and graduating with huge student loan debt. All of those are issues that are incredibly important and relevant to our generation.
How long have you been working for the organization you're currently working for?
Just for a few months.
How long has the organization you're currently working for been in existence?
I think about 3 years now. So.
And who's it funded by?
Well, we have a lot of donors, so it's kind of a compilation of donors.
Are the Koch brothers involved?
I believe there's someone involved, but I mean, we have a wide variety of donors, and they're definitely not our biggest donor.
Is that a bad thing, by the way?
No, it's not. I just love to try to figure what groups are all about, and I love what you guys are doing, Sharon. I'm behind you. I'm sure the more young people you can get out to vote for Dan Sullivan, the better. But I just like to I like to identify who we're talking to and what they're all about.
She said that they're not specifically endorsing Dan Sullivan and not involved in the Senate.
But just like there are many groups like that on the left, this is a group that on the right people donate to, like the Alaska Policy Forum, who do good things. I'm not in any way complaining or putting down their efforts. I just want to
I totally agree.
Try to add some light to what.
Hey Sharon, what message resounds most with millennials? What are they worried about?
I mean, honestly, the economy, I would say, and just the lack of good, solid jobs that aren't underemploying us. Because I know many people in my age group graduate, they have a huge student debt, and they want a good job. And you think you've put in the time, you think you've been responsible, and it's really frustrating to graduate and see that there are no jobs for your major, even if you did an incredibly hardworking major or something like that.
Sharon, is this country for young people, or has it changed? Because it used to be every single person, you'd ask every parent, you'd ask every grandparent, I want my kids to have it better than I did. Is that still true? Is that what parents are fighting for these days, or is that what the older generations are fighting for these days?
I think that it's what people would like to say they're fighting for, and I think it's overall, I think people want that. However, the policies that are coming out of D.C. are not what we're seeing for that. And I think a lot of times it's a little bit confusing on things like minimum wage. When we don't talk about it day to day, issues like minimum wage can sound like they help people, especially the people who are struggling the most. And really what they do is they, raise the bar for entry into jobs.
They raise a barrier to entry so that it's just harder to get the first job, because we all know that we need 2 or 3 jobs before we figure out what it's like to show up for work on time every day.
Do you have a Facebook page name?
Yeah, we do. If you just look up Generation Opportunity on Facebook, you can find us.
And does that have the information about tonight's meeting?
It does. Yeah, it should. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Sharon.
I hope to see some of your listeners there, and thank you so much for taking the time. It's our event. Just again, it's tonight and on Thursday at UAA in the Student Union, and from 6 till we're closing down at 11. So you can come from any time.
I bet there's going to be some liberals going to show up, going to try and cause trouble. That'd be my guess.
It wouldn't be fun, and we wouldn't be doing anything good if if you didn't get any pushback.
When she says mixer, she means
That's right.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, thank you.
844.
Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
When you've got the best ingredients, the pizza comes out right. That's just what we're cooking for every appetite. Experience the flavor, call us right away. 24/7, it's a pizza party day.
For the past 20 years, Sicily's Pizza has served Alaskans hot, fresh, quality pizza at a great price. And as a special thanks to all of their loyal customers, Sicily's is having a 20th anniversary sale. Any pizza, any size, for just 20 cents. Now that's an offer that you really can sink your teeth into. Call 333-8000 and order the Sicily's 20th anniversary special. Buy any pizza, any size, and get a second pizza for only 20 cents. Order online at sicilyspizza.com. Offer valid for pickup and carry out only. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza, 333-8000.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin with Harrington & Company. I am looking for a qualified buyer with a 90% letter from his lender. I have a 3-bedroom, bath and a half, single-car garage with carport on a large single-family lot in East Anchorage. It is priced in the mid-200,000s. It needs only a little bit of TLC. Please call me, Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821.
Why does consultant Jack Carey stay at La Quinta? Because only La Quinta sends Jack a ready-for-you alert the second his room is ready. So Jack knows exactly when he can check in and tune up for his big presentation. And when Jack's all tuned up, you know what happens?
Well done, Jack.
Incredible work.
Presentation perfection. His clients sing his praises. La Quinta Inns and Suites is ready for you, so you'll be ready for business. The ready-for-you alert only at laquinta.com.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 10.
All right, welcome back. 847. This is interesting. So I wrote, what did I do this morning on my Facebook page? Oh, okay. What in the world? Why would he comment on that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. He was commenting on another story. Talking about Dan Coffey, who's running for mayor. Is that? Oh, I'm hearing voices. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so the Palin brawl witnesses say he was fired for speaking out. The story Amanda Coyne wrote, how the McKenna brothers fired this guy who spoke out to Good Morning America and Amanda Coyne. So on Facebook, Dan Coffey writes, because Sandy writes on there, which, by the way, I think is Dave Steeran's mom. There's more than one paving company, free choice, who to use. McKenna's made themselves look bad in this case by firing the guy.
Agreed.
That's Steeran's mom.
Yep.
Coffey writes, Sandy, wrong about the McKenna brothers. It was their birthday celebration. I was there because their dad, Michael, is an old friend. What makes you say they made themselves look bad? Now, the real thing is, Dan Coffey was there. So now you've got a mayoral candidate who faces the press on a regular basis at the party of the century.
The Rumblegate party.
Everybody's going, what really happened? Who's going to fess up?
Now, why would he? Is he not politically savvy to know that he should never admit to that, or is he trying to back the McKenna brothers up because maybe they're friends together? He must be friends with the McKenna brothers, I would guess.
He said he's friends with the dad.
The investigation is still ongoing.
I realize, but my point is,
but this is really stupid politically, unless he knows where he's going with this. Where do you think that Dan Coffey knows where Dan Coffey is going with this?
One thing about Dan Coffey, he is not stupid politically.
Really? Because this seems stupid politically. What's the upside to this? You say he comes out and supports somebody who fired The guy who came and gave the media the information about the party of the century, about Rumblegate. Everybody wanted to know about Rumblegate. Every person on planet Earth wants to know about Rumblegate, whether you wanted other people to know or not.
I got to call him to coffee. We'll continue to call him. But he has, you're right, he has sorted himself into the middle of this, hasn't he?
And at the worst possible way, by supporting the people who fired the guy who came and gave everybody the story.
Unless they had reason to do it.
Well, there could be more to it.
All right. Well, that is possible, but he better be. Even so, I really think that he made a mistake here, just on its face.
I agree with Glenn. It wasn't smart. It wasn't smart to inject yourself in the middle of Rumblegate. It wasn't smart to defend the McKenna brothers, unless it comes out that the guy who spoke completely made all this up, and police can confirm that.
Okay.
And other witnesses confirm that. Then I think coffee's safe, but it's still always going to be he said, she said.
Well, here's the problem with it. Todd Palin was choking somebody. Sarah Palin was screaming obscenities.
Allegedly.
They got thrown out of the party.
Allegedly.
Klingmeyer, the guy who said, look, I want you guys to leave. Not everybody else. I mean, maybe he asked everybody else to leave too. Maybe just wanted the party cleared out.
But this is according to this one witness. It's only been one witness.
Oh, I don't
that has
think
gone
so.
on record.
It's pretty gutsy, though, to give your name and actually say that.
The other stories highlighted more than just Thompson.
Yeah, but those were sources.
Those were anonymous.
There's only one
named source
person who had the courage to give their name and say, this is what I saw.
It does make me want to believe him more.
Yes.
Because he actually got out there and gave his name.
That's right.
He said his name. I don't care what you say. If you're a source, you know.
Well, Amanda said she went and spoke with lots of people about it.
Yeah, but they weren't willing to say who they were.
Well, I wouldn't be willing to say who I was either, or even that I was at Rumblegate.
Why not?
Because I'd be embarrassed. You know how embarrassing it would be to be at Rumblegate?
It's not.
I don't want to get into the middle of some hillbilly brawl. That's ridiculous.
It's a party. These people aren't hillbillies. They own construction companies.
Well, it seems like hillbilly.
They're valley trash, and I love them.
They live in Anchorage. They're fancy people.
I don't know.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
I'm
they're
talking
fancy
about.
people.
That's right.
This kind of people Brian hangs out with.
Brian.
Well, it is sort of in my neighborhood, but you know, I keep thinking about the 6 people that got shot the other day.
Yeah.
You know, the little bloody nose ain't nothing.
That's
but Palin.
Way to rain on the parade.
Yeah, way to kill the buzz.
Well, I mean, there's guys out on the loose that shot some people.
Yeah, that's worrisome. That's why I carry.
I'm worried about them more
Let's
than
get back
track.
into that, Glenn.
The purse, you mean?
I'm all for it.
Well, I just think it's interesting that Coffee injected himself.
Why would he do that? You agree with me, though, that this is politically, on its face, is politically foolish. He may be able to resurrect getting back to even, but he's not. I don't think he's going to get anywhere forward with it.
Yeah, but he didn't think it was that public of a forum, too. Probably.
My Facebook page?
Well, that's true.
15,000 people on Dan's Facebook page.
So maybe he's just a loyal guy. Maybe he really wants to help the McKenna brothers' father.
No, I totally think that's it. I think Coffee, for people like Coffee, who really is a loyal man. I mean, he really is. He's a good man. He's a loyal man. He's probably done a lot of business with these guys. He wants to believe their story. That's not what this is about. This is just stupid politics, dumb, don't get in the middle of it. Stay as far away from it as you can. Now, what he may have been worried about is somebody was going to say, well, I saw Dan Coffee there, and try and get him in trouble, and he wanted to sort of head that off. I don't know, but I don't really see an upside here at all.
He took a side there, though. It's not like he was just like, yeah, I was there.
Yeah, and not only a side, but the side that got somebody fired, which most people are going to be very, very uncomfortable with. Oh, if I came out and said something bad about you, would you want me fired? Everybody's going to think that.
Hey, Brian,
I
just emailed you Coffee's number. Try him again. Tell him we want to talk to him. I'm sorry.
That's Other Duties is assigned, by the way.
Yeah. Get right on that. Anyway, I don't know. To me, it seems foolish politically. I wouldn't have admitted that I was there unless somebody absolutely cornered me and asked me, and I said yes, I was there, but I ran away and hid my head in the sand. I was trying to get away from this craziness.
I'm neutral.
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you admit it?
Huh?
He said he would admit it. He just wouldn't say that he saw it.
I wouldn't lie about it, but I would have been proud of it. I mean, it sounds like he was kind of proud that he was there.
Well, you can't blame people for this party because the Palin showed up and looked for a fight, allegedly.
Yeah, we don't know. Now Sarah's got a different story that Track was.
Well, she said nothing.
Whoever her anonymous source was.
Yeah.
Oh, the Blaze, from the Blaze article.
Printed that 4 people jumped on Track and that Connor Cleary was trying to get into the
Normally,
Palin's
here's why I think there's something to this, and why I believe it's going to be devastating toward Palin. She is very quick to respond, most times. Letterman, boom, all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime there's any controversy, boom. Somebody takes a picture of her, come out of a store, she goes and remanufactures another picture where she doesn't look as bad, puts it online. Boom. She is a responder. And the fact that she has remained silent, lo these many days, there's something to this. I'm not proud of the fact that I want there to be something to this. I wish that wasn't in my heart. You talked to him? Oh, you got his voicemail?
Yeah, I left a message.
Was it a good message? Give us the message.
It said Dan's back in
Dan.
town. He misses you. Wants to talk to you. Give us a call. 569
If you have any comment about Facebook or anything,
Yeah, I'm sure he'll probably call me once the show's off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. So you want there to be something? I don't
want
care one way or the other.
The angel on my right shoulder wants me to want it. The devil on my left shoulder doesn't.
No, you want there to be something.
I don't want things like that.
You don't want them, but you do want them. The first thing you said was absolutely accurate, and that is you want.
But I want my heart to be better and cleaner and pure and not one bad thing.
Don't worry. Here's
It's
where
not fun.
here's
It's
where
people's
I
lives.
think you get wrong on this.
All right.
You keep thinking about Sarah Palin's policies,
which infuriate me.
Yes. You just that's history. We've corrected that. We got a new
as
governor.
of 2 weeks ago,
we will have a
she
new
was
governor
injecting
and a
herself.
mayor will be
Oh, and now
lieutenant
too
governor.
with Bill Walker in the
But
mix.
she's going to come out for
Oh,
Walker.
yeah.
I can promise you that.
But you don't have to. I don't know why you take these policy positions very personally.
Because it's truth.
But see, just let Sarah do her own thing. She's going to convince the people that she's going to convince. You're going to try and unconvince the people that she is convinced. And so there's a battle that goes on, but don't let it consume. She's just a person.
Oh, I'm not
She's
consumed
a person.
by her.
Like, yes, you are.
Oh, no. I don't think of Sarah Palin hardly at all. No, it's not true. Glenn, I do not.
I bet during the story you've been thinking about her quite a bit.
Well, I read
think
the
about
story
it. I
this morning
chortle constantly.
and I'm a talk show host, so I try to cover
All
what's
right.
current.
Anyway, but the point is,
when I leave the show, I mean, she didn't let it enter my mind.
The point is that you said something that I thought was very accurate, and that is we have rid ourselves of Sarah Palin a while ago.
Well, with Bill Walker resurrected, I'm thinking maybe she might.
But he's his own man.
Yeah, but she'll try to inject herself in. This is one good thing about the melee, is that she's now. I would imagine she has lost more
credibility.
Got a question for you, Bonnie.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is the big uh-oh moment. Who does this hurt the most?
What, the melee?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I definitely think it hurts the Palins.
It hurts Joe.
Joe Miller?
No.
Yes, he said that the person who inspired him the most was Sarah
That's just because of the
Palin.
past.
Come on. Now, see, here's the problem.
You tell me it hurts Joe more than Sarah?
Well, Sarah's gone. She's done. Joe's still got a future. Here's the
Sorry
thing.
to hear that, Sarah.
When Joe,
My condolences.
when Joe said that Sarah Palin was the most inspirational Alaskan to him, he was making a political statement. And I think it was a mistake. I don't think he meant it. I don't think he was being honest.
He wasn't being honest, but he meant it.
I don't think he meant it. I don't think he was being honest. And that this kind of thing can happen when you say things just for politics. And he shouldn't have said that.
Like saying you support the minimum wage.
Exactly.
If Sullivan loses, it'll be another Adam Trump. You will have betrayed your core beliefs.
All right.
I agree.
Because all those Joe Miller supporters were trying to convince to come over to Dan. Made
This
it a lot
hurts
harder.
him. This does hurt him.
8:58. Oh, that's it. We're done for the day. Have a great day, folks. See you tomorrow at 6 a.m.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Be sure to catch them every weekday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. on Hot Talk KOAN 95.1 FM, 1080 a.m. and online at 1080KOAN.com.
This is Dr. Ellenberg. Are you tired of taking medications? Do your medications create more side effects than solutions? Do you want more than 15 minutes with your doctor? If you answer yes to those questions, you should consider calling the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine. At our center, we take the time to listen and focus on finding the